Welcome, traveler. You've just crash landed on the Mikey and Me podcast. But fear not, for this is no mistake, no fault in the stars, no cosmic accident. No, this is no glitch in the matrix. No, I'm afraid this has all been pre-planned, predestined, preordained by higher powers known not to us. So pull up a chair and join us as we find our way together, for you are among friends.
Hello, Mikey.
What happened? I just blacked out.
You welcomed a bunch,
I'm going to tell you.
bunch of individuals.
I'm going to tell you something. I took a pill at the gas station earlier at the 7-Eleven.
You didn't take it in Ibiza?
No, it was whatever they sell right there with the panther on it.
Thank you. I'm like, someone's got to get the joke.
I got it.
Whatever they sell at the checkout by the scratch offs. It's the Black Panther on it.
Since he got the joke, I was referencing a song. I took a pill in Ibiza. You probably
Oh
recognize it.
yeah, I know the song.
For like a top 40 like summer hit, whatever. For me, that I really like that song. And
I took a pill in Ibiza.
It all comes. Yeah, so Mike Posner did that, and his original version of that is like not electronic, kind of acousticy, and so lame. Like, but of course people just associate that song with Mike Posner. But it was like Seba is the people who remixed it, and it's the sound. It's one of those songs that they create a sound at that. That weird sound.
Oh yeah.
That gets me every time, kind of like the Midnight City.
Okay.
That like this, like
sounds
Midnight
like, City. That's what's up.
Yeah, like electronic. That's why electronic music is
what's
such a
the
favorite genre of mine, because it will make unique sounds that scratch some itch in your brain that no instrument has done.
Jeff mentioned the song to me not long ago. Who was it, Jeff? It's the night that shines or something. What is it?
BER.
What's the name of it though?
The night begins to shine.
The night begins is pretty good.
What
song.
genre? What
techno or like
electronic?
House
just electronic
or
music.
electronic?
I think
is it vocal, non-vocal?
It's vocal.
So there's like singing. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It has a 3-part story arc on the show Teen Titans that my daughter watches.
Okay.
So it just became a song, but it also goes hard. And I think
goes hard, dude.
Dude, kind of like
from that.
Kind of like that. What's it called? Song that got really popular. That into something rocket ship.
Going on a trip in my favorite rocket ship.
Yeah, like that took off.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I remember Shaq was even doing it
Baby
on a
Shark
TNT.
doop doop doop
Dude,
doop. That's another one.
We're stopping there.
We're stopping at Baby Shark, 100%. I'm getting PTSD.
He's over. Look, Matt's like he has to go smoke a cigarette, and he hasn't smoked a cigarette in years.
That time, but
that got played out so fast.
It's a bad thing. It's bad for your mental health.
That's hilarious. His sounds like nails on a chalkboard. You straight up had flashbacks. I've never seen his face look like this.
I'm just saying,
I'm not kidding. He straight up had like flashbacks. I did not know. I'm gonna play that one night, like on like a tiny recorder, and just like put it super low and hide it in his house.
You swear the person who wrote it said, "Hey, I'm just gonna prove how easy it is to sell crap to kids."
Oh yeah.
Which is honestly like in motivating me to start trying to write children's songs. Like I've made up a diaper changing song for her. I'm probably gonna record. Yeah, I'm serious. Like,
okay.
What do you think? Kids songs? Have you read a kid's book? Seriously, kids books. It's like one sentence per page.
Yeah,
and
no,
like
they're not.
10
It's
thick pages.
and you just have a
You have
picture.
Illustrator, AI generator.
Yeah.
Dude,
Come on.
I think I might be an author by
You
the
just
end
want
of
to
the
wrap
night.
this thing up, and we'll just go start doing that.
Yeah, dude. Why are we wasting time on this?
I don't know why we are either.
But
anyways, we're glad you're here. For those of y'all who maybe haven't seen us before, I'm the man known as Mikey, and this is the gentleman known as me.
Yes.
Matthew.
There's somebody in the corner.
We're being
of the
joined
room.
again. I can never figure out. I couldn't be a weather person. We're
There you
also
go.
being joined again by my friend and your friend, Jeff. Clap.
Heyo. Heyo.
Everybody
He's
claps
here.
now.
Let's get the party
And he's
started.
just recently made himself an Instagram for movies. He's the Jeff, the top 5 movie guy. I know y'all are on Instagram, so go follow him. And if you don't, then
just because
hold
you're
on.
disgustingly
Correction.
addicted to it doesn't mean
Yeah.
everyone is.
yeah, disgustingly addicted.
I'm just saying, is it? Am I an outlier? How little I'm on there? For
I don't
my
know.
age?
Probably
I don't know.
not. I don't
Probably
think
not.
so because I wasn't on
Like-
anything for the years. I didn't have
But you found it.
Instagram or anything.
But finally, you figured out this is my social.
It's my life's calling.
This is my social media. This is
No,
my social
I don't.
networking.
No, I mean it's
As long as it's not TikTok.
I'm-
That's all I say.
Can I be honest? I'm good on TikTok.
Ain't trying
That's
to.
for the birds.
There's a lot of bad stuff.
No, but if I'm being honest, until I found this
You know, there's
author
something
guy,
wrong with saying that first.
What?
You shouldn't have to say that.
Can I be honest?
If I'm
because that
being
implies
honest,
that
that there's a good chance
I'm-
you're lying most of the time.
most of the time. Okay.
It's just a funny observation.
I
Sorry
see.
to cut you off and derail
no,
you,
that's
as I like
okay.
to do.
I was gonna say before I had actually been considering just like I'm like why I was like there's no return on this shit. I was
You
like,
pointing
this
at
is
something.
stupid.
What were you pointing at?
If you
Nobody knows.
I'm gonna give. I haven't gotten there.
Okay, I apologize. I just saw you pointing. and
I wasn't
thought-
gonna get to. I was just gonna say before I had found this author on Instagram.
on the
I didn't
gram.
really find any reason. There was no real return on it other than talking to friends or
This guy's
sending
changed your
videos
life.
between friends. And so I was like, oh, this is actually something positive on here. So
Okay. Well, I mean,
there's something that was
it's impacting. I don't know if it's positive.
I think it is. For me, it is. It was positive in the sense
It's
that,
art.
Yeah.
It's art.
Mikey, I think Instagram's the tool, and your life experience is what drove you there. You know,
There you
you're
go.
the type of guy that would go out and meet people like anywhere you go. Like
There you
you
go.
know, so it doesn't surprise me that you
So
went
this
online.
is Mikey's
reached out to a
personality
comedian. Yeah.
in the digital format. This is if you're out at a bar, but you know the bar of Instagram.
The Instagram bar.
All right.
Speaking of the bar, I need to go grab a beer. Do we want to take a quick break real quick? Can we do that? Is that would
We
you
have the
mind
power
doing
to
that?
do
I know
that.
it's a bit of a
Yes, we'll
Let's
do
do
it.
that because I also have a correction, Mikey. It's not. It's Jeff, the top 5 guy.
Are we paused?
It's
Not
not
yet.
just. It's not just top 5 movies. It's top 5 everything. I was
Oh,
talking
the
to
top
Caleb
sorry.
earlier. I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's-
I'm gonna bust out like the top 5 frozen foods, like dinners.
Okay,
Just to
I
be
like
known
it.
that, like,
That's
the top
nice.
5, like,
That's
every-
nice. So yeah, he's all right. So he's not the top
Dude,
5 movie. He's top.
Gotcha. Hey,
he's the top
there's
5 guy.
The ticket, which I mention all the time, is great because one of the hosts does absurd rankings. He ranked the fingers. Which is
Oh,
so
dude,
great.
that makes sense.
Psalm number 1.
Dude, yeah, like ranking your fingers, like I don't know, it's great.
Pinky last.
Ranking the seasons, he's picked the absolute worst day of the year. Like there's a certain specific day, but yeah, but we'll
the
take a
worst.
break
Okay.
and then we can.
Oh,
have
bro.
some-
Yeah, let's take a quick break.
All right.
Welcome back. Sorry for that. A little bit of a break. I was parched.
Yeah.
Man, was I parched. It had been just a few seconds since I had some beer, and I needed some.
Yeah, I'm.
So, you know,
I'm
sometimes you
back
take long
alive,
weeks.
drinking more beer this week than I probably have in years.
Oh my goodness! Am I influencing you negatively?
No, it's just because
Good.
I used to drink like liquor every day.
Oh,
but I stopped
okay.
doing that like probably 2 years ago.
There you go.
And so I just kind of stopped drinking much unless I'm around
Yeah.
people. But there's other things to try and stop doing. And so I just try and replace one addiction
Yeah.
with what I think is
stopped
a better
trying to
one.
masturbate in front of people. That was
Oh.
my addiction.
Dude,
Yeah.
Are you homeboys of Louis C.K.? Because we just call that Louis-ian. Oh,
I
he's
just
just
feel a
Louis-ian.
strong urge to whip it out and just start going to town. on
Dude,
myself.
yeah, dude.
speaking, timeout. This wasn't planned for now, but
you're
speaking
getting
of,
very excited.
speaking
You
of
can calm
whipping
down
it
a little bit
out,
there, buddy.
I have a book of a
He's-
guy who
he's,
likes
whipped
to
his book out.
whip it out. This book is called When in Doubt, Michael Sawan. Okay, and this
I've heard of
we've
this
talked
guy.
about
I've
him.
heard
I
of this
finally
guy.
got his books in. We'll talk more about it later. We have some announcements, but
I've heard about this
that
guy.
guy
Heard good
likes to
things.
whip it out.
Heard good
Oh yeah,
things.
you're going to hear more about him. You're going to hear a lot more about him. I'm
You're
glad
welcome
you-
for
I'm
the
glad you said
segue,
that.
Mike.
I'm
I'm
excited.
glad you said that. But keep going now.
All right.
But yeah, no, he does whip it out, and it's not a thing you want to do.
Yeah, I think it's illegal.
It's a sound and setting thing. If the setting's right, and
So there
You could
are
maybe-
situations that call for it.
maybe again,
situation.
I mean, there's
no.
definitely
Well,
situations
Public,
where
no,
you
but we're
gotta
talking
whip it
public
out.
with the under
public.
with
Ooh,
the, or no with that because he's doing it in public,
yeah.
or private,
Yeah.
but
No,
with a
it's
group
not-
of people in a non
Yeah.
interpersonal sexual manner.
Oh yeah, no. In the book,
Yeah.
homeboy. Yeah, no.
he's
yeah,
he's
no.
doing it strategically.
He's strategic, dude, and it's tactical,
It's-
and he's
yeah.
weaponized it, and
He's
he
weaponized
learned
his
how to
wings.
use it
He weaponized the ween.
God, this book is so dense. I think it's honestly going to revolutionize humanity.
To avoid violence.
Yeah. No, and I think it's going to revolutionize. We got to stop. But keep going.
Just take us.
Let's just keep going. So we're going to get into the best movies that we think came out of 2015, at least released in the United States.
2015.
20, correct.
Yes. We've all mastered the year.
We have all mastered the year. We knew it well. We were there for it. We experienced it.
Like many Christmases. We all only experienced one 2015.
I've had many Christmases.
You could run on that.
I've had many Christmases.
I've experienced many
this guy
Christmases.
If you go through our podcast, it was first season 1, I think.
Yeah, that was great, dude. Season 1 was a banger, man. Might be our best yet.
And he wasn't saying it in humor.
No, I wasn't. I was just letting you know I've experienced many Christmases.
I'm 32. I've experienced many. It's like you've experienced 32.
That's many Christmases. That's many. That's a lot.
But okay, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I forgot. We're recording, right? People are listening. 2015 was a great year.
It was.
And I think that first, since Jeff is our guest, we're going to let him go. And Jeff,
But tell him what we're doing, because we're doing a little different.
Okay, well, we are doing it different, so we're not going to go. That is a good point. I apologize. I got a bit ahead of myself. We are not doing the typical list of just how we monotonously going through it the last time. Would that be the right word, monotonous?
Yeah. Yeah, monotonous.
And we're just kind of just going through, sauntering our way down the list, sluggishly sauntering.
Beautiful. That's beautiful alliteration.
Yeah, thank you. God, man, and to imagine that I grew up in a house with asbestos and lead paint.
Since we've been doing this.
You feel like I've gotten smarter?
You've been getting that. You're continually your intelligence is increasing.
Give me.
I'm not saying it's me.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you've started drinking since I've been around.
Maybe you're reading
I'm
more.
Getting smarter.
You know, or maybe osmosis. I don't know.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
But either way, we had been going about this list all wrong.
Talking about alcoholism by osmosis.
But yes.
And the list was just. We apologize if you've been listening. We are so sorry. Look at Jeff. Jeff is sorry. We are all sorry. Jeff, though, has been a big part. Hats off to our boy here. Everybody clap.
Yep.
For being able to, he's helped us refine the list and given great recommendations, and we're running with them. And I think he's been a value add beyond belief, which is a great show. You should check it out.
Yeah,
but he's not wrong.
It kind of creeps me out because in my obsession with movies in a unique way, and it's very specific to certain genres and things, but I'll still have a lot of useless knowledge. You don't meet many people that you feel like share that same.
Oh yeah, I'm full of useless.
Yeah, this encyclopedia of just stuff that they've learned, and just because they're interested in these seeds, not that because they like it. This is like a soul brother. Man.
Yeah, so it's weird because you're like, I'm not as unique as I thought. I'm like, no, there's a replicant. You have a replicant. His name is Jeff.
So you think that I feel less about myself because I'm meeting somebody
No, I'm sorry you felt that way. I'm sorry it came out that way. I thought that more or less your fuse was blown. You're like, wait a minute.
You're so apologetic.
You're like, wait a minute.
You're so apologetic.
Something. Because I want you to know when I want it to come off that way. That's why. I want you to know.
Let's do it this way. Hey, I'm about to insult you with all my heart.
Okay. Hey, sit down because I'm about to lay into you. But yeah, no. Jeff has helped us with the list, so the list has changed. We're not going down it the same way. If you've sat through it up until now, thank you. Send us your mailing address. We're going to be sending you a medal of accommodation for sitting through that, because that was bad. It was like sitting in front of a fan and somebody holding your eyelids open. So sorry about that.
Also, go back and watch our previous episodes.
Yeah, but for real, go back, like them, watch them. Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna get into it. And with that being said, since Jeff is our guest, we will let Jeff will be going first.
Okay, and again, our new format is we've each picked our top 10 for the year.
Yes.
And so I know myself, and I believe Mikey. I have 9 in no particular order, and one that's gonna be like my absolute.
Oh, mine are in straight.
No, yes, that's why Jeff. So this man put thought into
10
it.
to
So
1.
his ranking is specific of you should see this one last, this one first.
Yes.
So
yes.
So take that serious.
Also, just like some of them are just they're bangers. They got to be up there.
Yeah, and there can be any reason to have a movie, because there's movies get close to picking them, like, oh, I kind of like this one better, but at the end, like, there's certain states of mind for an individual that if they want to see a comedy, want to see an action movie, so it's good. So that's why I have a couple honorable mentions if you want to at the end. But
yeah, I definitely got a couple that got just.
But I'd say you can go ahead and start, and if there's a trailer for a specific one, just be like, tee it up, boy, and we can pull it up. But
gotcha.
I think you have the floor, sir.
I'm gonna start off with number 10.
Oh,
for me,
there we go.
Straight Out of Compton was a movie that I liked. It was greatly acted. I really liked the casting for it. Like it's a feel good kind of movie. You know, you can just put it on.
That's not the one based on the NWA, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
where
that's
Ice
the
Cube's
one.
kid is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that played Eazy-E, man, that dude was he was great.
No, that was a really good movie.
You can tee this one up though. The Lobster.
And
I feel like people sleep on it.
This is on my list too. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
He ranked it pretty low, a 9.
The
he ranked
Lobster,
it 9.
But
that's
the thing
okay.
what makes
sense.
this relevant for people now is that Pretty Things that this. I'm so shocked that did what it did at the Oscars. Same director. Yorgos Lanthimos.
Right. Oh yeah.
Poor Things. Yeah, sorry. Poor Things.
Poor Things. Poor Things.
And if you've watched this is a Greek dude. I've watched some of his Greek films like Dogtooth and stuff.
Brent told me about it, but I've never actually
dude, no,
seen it.
Go back to some of his like Greek films like before The Lobster. Like Dogtooth is like, all right, okay, it's The Lobster. 824.
Have you ever been on your own before?
No, never.
Your last relationship lasted how many
I
years?
think okay.
12.
Sexual preference?
You have that muted, by the way. Just I don't know if that's on purpose.
Bisexual?
No, you just
you
No,
can't
sir,
hear.
this option
yeah.
is no
I don't have a
longer
solution for
available.
that quite yet.
You just have to pull it up
My
on
brother,
watch it
he was here a
yourself.
couple
Jeff.
of years ago, but he didn't make it.
At the same time, yeah.
Dude, but it's like
Because
like,
I
be like
could
a
turn this
lobster.
up a little bit and put the mic by it, but there's risks.
Just stand up straight.
This is, by the way, Mikey. You might not love it. It's very dark.
I've seen it. It's
How
on
do
my
you feel
list.
about it?
What sort of dancing did you do?
John C. Reilly. Oh, love him. I got to be on the stage
so
with him.
good.
I got to be on stage with him.
Yeah, that is awesome. You need to tell the people about that later.
Yeah.
Benjamins. Those are Sheridan. Benjamins. Those are legit.
Were you talking about the
Pellet
table?
guns.
The-
Pellet guns. Yeah, the
I
table.
thought you were talking about the table sheet, whatever.
Mikey has one.
Okay. Oh, yeah, still going.
Oh yeah, I have a Benjamin.
Did you
That is-
catch rabbits? Catching a rabbit is difficult.
Thank you very much.
If you need more rabbits, I'll bring you more.
You promise?
You can be a loner as long as you like. There is no time limit.
Oh yeah, Lee used to do.
Any
So hot.
romantic or sexual relations are punished.
She's just. Oh, yeah.
We have to be totally synchronized.
And Rachel Wise, I've always liked
Two.
her.
You're like a brother to me. Oh, you're my best friend in the whole world.
I don't think I'm your best friend in the whole world.
It's like a black romantic comedy,
Yeah.
dark romantic comedy.
Yes.
Very much so.
Slowly
Lobster is an
gathering
excellent
this.
choice.
Olivia Colman.
If you encounter any problems you cannot resolve
the bear.
yourselves, you will be assigned children. That usually helps.
All right, so give us the rundown. Like, what's this movie about?
Basically, I mean, it's kind of a story of a bunch of losers who can't find anyone to be with, so they go to a place where they have, I think, like a couple months, maybe a year to find someone, and if they don't, they turn into an animal of their choice.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell picks the lobster.
Yeah. And it's so it
wild.
speaks a lot just to relationships and how they function.
And how forced they can be. you know?
Or like it made me think of fingernails in a different way. If you ever saw that one about like them having that matching
haven't.
system where they cut their fingernails and they do some tests to tell them that they're so compatible they'll never get divorced. Just like in The Lobster, that one guy sees a girl with some like scar or disability. He's like, if I can find a way to connect her, you know, she'll decide not to think I'm a match, even though it's not true. Just like this through the dynamics of relationships and what people will
the
do to
deception,
change, to change
that you
themselves.
put on. Yeah.
So
It's an eye opener. I mean, I love it. Plus, it's just funny. Like there's just
It
like
is.
once you understand the style of humor, like it takes a little bit. It's slow, but like once you get into it, like Colin Farrell's, he's hilarious. Like it's
All right. So what's number 8?
Number 8's gonna be another one you might want to tee up.
No, that was his number 9.
No,
that was 9.
Was that 9?
That was 9. This is 8.
Okay.
Beast of No Nation with Idris Elba.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that was based on what, a child
I
soldier
missed
in
that-
Africa.
I missed that
was on a book, right? And then it was a real story.
Yeah, I believe it's based off a book.
Yeah.
What's it about? Like I
A
missed
child soldier in Africa.
A child soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he gets
the
like
Bob
separated
Marley
from his
song,
family
Child Soldier.
and all that.
Okay. So Idris Elba, is he like the mentor training little kid or something?
I can't remember it that
You
well.
didn't
I don't.
see it.
No, I saw it. I don't remember if he
Okay.
was the. I think wasn't he the bad, or he was the father, wasn't he?
No, Idris Elba's playing one of the.
Or is he the bad guy?
Like he's definitely a bad guy. He's
Okay.
playing kind of like a chief to like a warlord in Africa. Then he kind of like goes out on his own.
Yeah, the book was dark. I know that.
But it's just
the
him
book
and a
was
bunch
dark.
of children soldiers. It's like it's dark. I mean,
soldiers.
but it's like one of the out of all these, it's the most necessary to watch. I would say.
It's
Yeah, 'cause
important
it is a real
because
story.
it's history that's worth knowing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's also ideas worth considering. I'm just saying they're children soldiers, dude. No one expect that.
Oh, kid soldier.
Kid assassins?
Kid assassins.
Yeah.
Actually, they've pretty much perfected that in Chicago.
Yeah, dude. Children assassins, dude. I wouldn't expect a little
Oh,
kid
yeah.
to kill me, dude. Just like in The Wire. How did
that's what
Homeboy
I'm
get
saying.
got in The
Yeah,
Wire?
whole- yeah,
That's
By
true.
kids.
That's true.
Like,
Boom. All right.
little kids that do dirt.
All right.
What do we got next, sir?
Number 7, Sicario. Going with an action film.
All right. That might be on my
There
list.
you go. I
Yeah.
didn't even make
Yep.
the list, but it's on mine.
Yeah, you can let us know if it would have been on yours,
Oh,
Chris.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, out of all, I think that's the highest ranked, second highest ranked action movie of the year for me. I mean,
Yeah, Dennis
good.
Villanueva. Like,
yeah, it's got a great
mastercraft.
pace. Like, it's
The way
got a
he
good
does
story
pacing.
too.
Yeah, well, yeah, that one.
but
Yeah.
It's Benicio del Toro, Emily Blunt. Like, yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, check it out.
Yeah.
Before that, I got The Big Short.
Okay. That might be on my list as well.
What's his face?
Adam McKay.
Adam McKay. I love this style of
about the
directing.
housing
What's the other
Yep.
movie that's
Christian
styled
Bale.
just like this?
The one they just this most recent was Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
But
That was a funny
what
one.
he's doing, I like it because he was an SNL writer, right? So that's where he got
Right.
to start, and he did a bunch of comedies. But now he's like trying to find a way to educate people in comedies, which is like
Yeah.
what they're doing, which I think is pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
because it's literally like educating people who don't know what the hell the subprime market crash was. Like they
Yeah.
don't know they used to
They
know
have
what
no
happened.
idea.
No, and I love how they use like Margot Robbie and Anthony Bourdain
Yeah.
to like spell it out to you.
Like I'm a hot
yeah,
girl.
it's
Listen,
so
you'll
fun.
listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I've
Like
heard
he
it's a
definitely has
really
his own
good movie.
style
It's one
of directing that he's kind of like niched into.
Yeah.
But like also like dude, like Christian Bale's in it and
Yep.
he's amazing. Steve Carell is in
Yep.
it and he's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, anything.
What's his name?
Ryan
Strong
Gosling has,
from
like, a couple,
Succession.
small parts that are really good, but like
Yeah.
it's another one of those where like, everyone who's casted is casted so well.
Yeah. Yeah, Ryan Gosling and our boy from Succession. I forget its name. If it's Strong, Jeremy Strong, maybe. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy Strong. Yeah. All right, that was number 6. So this is the top 5. Like
right.
I really kind of sat and thought about this.
Looks like he's sweating a little bit. He's still
I'm
not
still
sure.
kind of.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Number
we're
5
here
is-
for
We need
you.
to take a break so you can go back to makeup.
We're here
and
for
get
you.
Get the shine
No, we're
taken
good.
off his forehead.
Number 5 is The Martian with Matt
Okay,
Damon.
that might be on my list too.
All right, dude.
Sounds like you're
Matt's
singing-
like, and
you're
we're gonna
speaking
be
Matthew's love language.
right
You're
back.
And
speaking
again,
Matthew's love
I don't
language
know
right
who
now.
I am anymore.
And then, yeah, Jeff's like, Matt's like, we're gonna be right back. We come back, Jeff's
didn't you
gone,
tell me?
and
No,
we're
we come back. Jeff's sitting here and I'm on his camera.
I mean, it's a good movie. Like it's got comedy, it's got drama. Like
it's
Comma.
in
It's
the
a
way
com-drom?
in the way Back to the Future is a perfect film to me, regardless of where I'd rank it. The Martian has that same quality. It grabs
for
you
sure.
from
You can
the
watch
first
it over and over
moment.
again.
It has a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
I might
gets
watch
you
it tonight.
Emotionally invested in just the right ways, and I feel like it has the same style of magic that Back to the Future has.
Would you say that the
sure.
soundtrack's better than Forrest Gump?
No. Forrest Gump's the GOAT.
Dude.
Yeah, it's got to.
I mean, maybe if I've seen it all the way
All
through.
right. Yeah, either way, moving along.
Yeah, I need to get around to Forrest Gump.
Don't sleep on the.
Sadly, I'm not joking.
Okay.
Soundtrack though.
Well, all right. What's your next one? Number 5.
Number 4.
Or 4.
The Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. Get him out of here.
Favorite character is Kurt Russell's Hangman.
I love Walton Goggins, dude. Oh, I love
John the Hangman.
John the Hangman. But also, what's the chick's name in the movie?
Oh yes, from Rachel Lee Cook. Not Rachel Lee Cook.
Yeah,
it was the chick that was in like '80s films and shit. Damn it.
Yeah, the
I know
one
exactly
that,
who she is.
where he's
Daisy Domergue.
It's like a three.
Daisy Domergue. Daisy Domergue.
I mean, and also that just goes to
that was
tell
her
for
name
like Quentin
in the
Tarantino.
movie.
Like this is probably lower on my favorite Tarantino films, but it's still like top 5 of the year it came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, totally.
There was a funny story about that movie. I don't know if like Jeff probably knows it honestly, but the scene where she's singing the song or whatever, playing the guitar. You know about this story?
I've heard this.
Okay.
Go on.
So that
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Okay, well, either way, the scene
There it
where
is.
she's
Rachel
playing
Lee
the
Cook.
guitar and
Yeah, you can see
Kurt
it.
Russell
The 3
takes
names.
it and smashes the guitar.
Yeah.
Her reaction is legitimate because that guitar was apparently like an antique, like very expensive guitar. That
I
was
think they
on
got it from
money
a
for the
museum
movie.
or something like that.
It was something
they
like
had special
that.
permission
And
to have
he
it.
didn't know. He improv'd it. He took it and just fucking smashed it.
Kurt Russell. It was a Martin. It was a period correct Martin.
So it was a legitimate reaction.
Yeah.
Yes, and so her reaction in that
So
scene
I wonder
was
if
like, oh my
Quentin
God,
had to
like,
tell him to do that.
Well, there's a rumor. There's a rumor that Quentin told him to smash it, but like Kurt Russell covered it up by saying, "No, I just improv'd it."
So is
like,
that, who owns it? Who owns the
it's
bat?
like, yeah, somebody.
It's
but
like
it
that-
was a period correct like Martin guitar.
Yeah. Well, it's all about catching natural reactions. Like that movie I was telling you about. I don't know, that fantasy one where like that little girl, a lot of her scenes were filmed like secretly, like she didn't know she was being filmed.
Oh yeah.
So they're
okay.
catching
It's almost
natural
about
reaction.
that. Yeah, it was like a month ago or something.
Yeah, it was on like a couple episodes ago.
Okay.
But yeah, similar. It's all catching natural reaction.
Yeah.
That's not acting. It's
That's
catching human reaction.
In the Godfather movies, I think they said the guy that played Luca Brasi, he was like a wrestler or a boxer, something like that. And they cast him because he was like big and strong or whatever. Like he looked the part.
Yeah.
But he couldn't act for shit. And who was it? Francis Ford Coppola.
The
that did
Fall.
The Godfather?
Sorry, The Fall was the movie.
Was
I
that,
was
who was the
referencing.
who was the director?
Yeah,
of that?
Francis Ford.
Okay,
Yeah.
So he realized this dude
Megalopolis.
couldn't act for shit, and he caught him like in a room rehearsing his lines. Actually filmed that and used that for his character in the movie. Like
Really?
as he's like going before the Godfather and stuff.
Look at
like,
this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
No, it's Look up.
Chris got some
I didn't know
knowledge.
that.
Hit you up with some shit every night.
I didn't know that. That was an
What
interesting
happened? I
value
just
add.
blacked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, he blacked out as well. I used that. He wasn't here for the intro. I already used that. That's twice.
Oh.
It's twice.
No,
I'm gonna
no,
use it
Wait,
later.
so are you
Synchronicity.
is there the Smith brothers? Y'all okay? Did y'all
That's
both
'cause we're
ingest
both
the same
wearing
thing?
Sturgis
Dude, if
shirts.
you talk a lot of shit about Smith Brothers, we'll go Dudley Boys on you. And I'll
I
tell him to get the
made
table.
some pretty obscene jokes about
have.
just the fact that you guys are brothers.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
wrong. It's wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know it's. I understand that the reason for it is the fact that you don't have a brother.
But I do.
I know, but you know what
But
I
I
mean.
do.
Well, stop. Okay, guys, we need to take a
Why
break.
do you think we call her Christina's?
I'm gonna take a break.
No, that's
I gotta
cool, dude.
pull
No,
back
we
in.
got a show to do.
I gotta.
We got a show to do.
All
Show
right,
must
all
go
right.
on.
No, even though I've just deeply damaged Matt's feelings. What's your number 3 pick?
Think
I guess,
he thinks
Jeff?
I have feelings.
No, he has no feelings. I know. It's okay.
All right, top 3. Number 3, Guy Ritchie's The Man from U.N.C.L.E. with Henry Cavill and
Get him out.
what's
Get
that
him
dude's name?
Click X on all.
I didn't
all
see
fucking-
it. I knew about this one. I didn't have a desire to see it.
I'm gonna click X on Jeff's
I
picture
knew
right
all
now.
about
What
it,
does that
and
do?
it's
Like,
looked
Jeff, you
entertaining.
fired, you stole
But
all
I guess
Mikey's movies.
I was entertained enough to where I wasn't drawn to watch it.
Oh, it's good. It's
a good movie.
It's one of his
What
funner
what
movies.
makes it like?
Because it was
It
just
gets
a
off-
decent spy plot, and it did a good job. Sorry to cut. So, go ahead.
No, you're
Jeff.
good.
I was just gonna say it was a decent spy plot, and they were able to kind of capture, like, it was the battle between Russia and the U.S., and they were able to tongue-in-cheek capture like an American spy and a Russian Soviet spy.
Yeah.
Being like
Matt,
on
the best way to put it to you, it's basically Guy Ritchie does the French Connection. Like,
Okay.
yeah, and there was also like there was.
Okay.
I mean, it was a fantastic movie.
A highly stylized, almost at times comedic, take on this.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cool.
Definitely.
And the picture and the sight, sound, setting,
Armie
perfect.
Hammer is the second lead, and I can't think of who the
R.I.P.
girl is, but she's adorable. She's hilarious.
Right.
R.I.P.
I would
Armie
like to
Hammer.
add how they educated me on that guy. No, his career's
he
over.
might as well be
His
dead.
career, yeah.
You think we get him on here? No, I don't want to.
You
No,
think
I mean,
I'd rather
actually,
not.
we might not want to go that long.
Yeah, I don't
they
want
say-
to. We're
Yeah.
about to
You know
be
the old
upgrading
saying,
Dude,
soon.
no, he was
You
trying
can
to sell
build
magazines
bridges
to me the
all
other
your
day,
life.
dude. I'm telling you.
One broad. And
Oh,
Armie
man.
Hammer was
All
knocking on
right.
my door trying to sell magazines.
Number 2.
All right, and this is tough. Like, this is one of the, like we were talking earlier about, like, most necessary movies. This one's up there. Are just movies you can
This
watch
is your
once.
judgment call. That's the thing. This is like your subjective judgment call on this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the top 2 were tough. But number 2, I watched recently. It was one of those I watched it, I loved it, and then didn't really go back to it.
I swear, if either of these are one of my
Boot
movies,
him.
I'm gonna shit myself.
Get him the fuck out of here. Boot him.
All right.
Either way, The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's good, but not the one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
very good.
He can. You can
phenomenal.
stay.
And
You can
again,
stay.
Alejandro Inarritu, who did I
Yeah,
think it was
who
Gravity
we
before.
brought up last
Birdman,
time,
Birdman.
Birdman.
He
Who
did
was-
this
what's his
in
name?
Birdman. Like Alejandro
Yeah.
Inarritu.
That.
So this was similar to Birdman in how it has like a lot of single takes.
Yeah,
where
like the
there's a
opening
lot of
scene,
single
that
camera
battle.
shots.
Yeah.
And getting raped by a bear. It was
Well,
hard.
it was
Man,
based
that
off
bear-
It was
that-
based off a real
I,
person.
and
like a
it
true
makes sense
story.
that it took that much work for Leo to finally get an Oscar. Because it looked like he earned it. He earned
He
an
earned it
Oscar.
in that
Filmed
one.
it,
Yeah, for
like,
sure. It's also like the most perfect revenge film, like, of all time.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
'Cause it's
for
the
sure.
most, like,
he got his
down
lick
hard.
on that
Oh,
bear.
my
He
God.
came back and got his lick back on
Yeah.
that bear.
No, yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
Like the scene where like Tom Hardy's like running for his life at the end, like he knew he was dead.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he came all the way from that, like there was nothing stopping
Yeah.
him from getting to him.
Tom Hardy's in the bike
No,
riders.
because
You see that?
Yeah, I
the
wanna
true
see that,
story
man.
of
It's
that
good,
guy
dude.
Was that he crawled something like 90 miles or something back to the camp, like after he got mauled.
90?
It was something.
That's pretty
it was
far.
Something crazy,
Can we? You can
Like,
keep going.
look
We're
it
gonna
up,
fact
bro.
check 90 miles.
bro. Yeah.
No,
it's a
I'm not saying it's
wild-ass
not
story.
very, very likely to be true. I just like to see
But,
when
yeah,
people
no,
throw out
that-
numbers. Sometimes I
that
just
dude
like
is
to
a-
check
Wow, I just typed in how far did HUG, and it popped up glass crawl.
them. Is that what it's called?
200
Hugh
to
Glass.
300
Hugh Glass,
miles.
yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
An underestimation.
I'm sorry.
An
I'm
underestimation.
Sorry, I vastly underestimated our man
So-
Hugh.
How much?
It says, what did Hugh Glass accomplish? Glass was left for dead after a bear attack in August 1823. Although he reportedly had a broken leg, a rib scalp, a punctured throat, and numerous gashes, he traveled some 200 to 300 miles, 322 to 483 kilometers over the next 2 days.
You said
Under the next 2 months to safety. Sorry, I said 2 days.
What's his
To
name?
Fort Kiowa
Hugh
in Present
Glass.
Glass.
Hugh Glass.
HUGHGLASS.
I believe
HUGH.
you. I believe you.
But yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's a phone.
But yeah, no,
believe you.
It's a phone.
I believe you.
I sold
it's a
old
phone.
Hugh there short, man. And you guys,
did, Chris.
How short did you guys sell him?
I didn't
Yeah, Matthew
question
didn't
it.
think
I
it
just
was
nodded
shit.
along.
I didn't have enough
I
knowledge
said 90.
to
Matthew's
where
like, huh, 90 miles.
I nodded.
I
That does
mean-
sound a long way to crawl.
Yeah,
The fact that he did 200 to
with a
300.
ripped
and
fucking
again, we're
throat.
trucking.
Crazy.
We're trusting whoever kept these historical records. On
Oh,
top of
Matthew
all
is
that.
the most.
That's a
he
pretty big
is
story
the
to keep.
biggest
Yeah,
skeptic.
be that as it
Matthew
may.
is the. I love it, but I would just
He
like to
was
say that he's the
attacked by
biggest
a bear.
skeptic of. He's over here.
Dude, this
this
is
is
the perfect
great.
kind of thing that would
This is
embellish
great.
industry, though. It is. It is.
I don't.
It's a
I'm not.
perfect
I'm
candidate
not
for
saying they
embellishment.
wouldn't.
No, Matt's not wrong. It started off as 10 miles, then got to 50, then got to 100.
No, the
Like,
fact
yeah,
2 to
he's not
300,
wrong.
that is like a 50, like
Here we go.
a 50% variance, a plus minus 50%. Give me a plus minus 5% error rate. Plus
But
minus
I
50%.
think the reason you embellish the mileage, Matt, is to like give off how much this dude wanted to kill this other motherfucker,
And
like
bad
how
he
much the
wanted to
revenge
live.
mattered.
Yeah.
Either way, all right. So that's number 2.
Number 1, and this one might be like
Okay, here we go.
Here we
in
go.
like all time top 10 like
If this
movies
is
for me. Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay.
Like it's a perfect fucking movie.
It is.
Like I love
No,
it.
I
Like,
agree.
Matthew
it's
was
filmed well.
worried. I feel like I knew that was going to be his movie.
No, I knew
It
because
has to
I
be.
thought he hadn't said it yet.
I said, what did I tell you earlier? Jeff's number 1 would be.
Yeah. No, it's
Mad Max.
that would.
Like they just created this world and they pulled it off. Like all the car stunts and stuff, all the stuff they did without CGI.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
just
It's all
amazing.
it's all practical effects.
Yeah.
And it's
Exactly.
funny.
And
And that's
the
what
thing,
that was one of the early discussions we had when
Yeah.
Brett was here about practical effects versus
versus real,
virtual
which is
effects.
Oh,
George
I'm
Miller.
always practical
but
for
the
sure.
funny thing about that,
Fuck
and
the budget.
oh yeah, and I just came to this realization not long ago. Like the blind bass player that they have as part of the whole thing. Like some of the shots are like him on a bungee thing, like playing bass for him, and
Yeah.
that's what he's doing. It's almost like where the hell is that? But
Well,
Civil
he's
War
the
had
war cry.
marching
He's the guy
bands.
in the army who like hits the drums. as they
That's
go
no,
out,
that's
you
what I'm
know?
saying. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like the Civil War, they had a
That's-
band was
yeah.
part of the army.
Exactly,
Because-
man.
well, and do you
So
know
it's
the
literally
reason for
taking
that?
history, which is awesome because they would literally have a band that didn't have
Well, the
weapons out there
reason-
with the soldiers playing music.
Like that's
Yeah,
what it
it's
would
like-
be.
reason
Yeah,
for
it
the
would be
drummers
some metal
was-
gimp.
So it's
Shooting fire.
So they
it's
would know
beautiful.
how to form up.
Metal
That's how
gimp.
they would
Yeah.
send orders throughout the ranks.
But it's
like,
also a
in
motivational
battle.
thing too.
Well, it was, but it was a way like, and the same with like flags and standards, where like you can't yell over the
So we can't
scream
fight
of
so their
battle.
band's done
And
playing?
so
No.
if they were like flank left, that's a different fucking drum
Cadence.
beat. Form
Yeah.
up, flank left.
So it was literally a
and
communication method.
It was a way for them to
Really?
communicate and form. That's what
I didn't know
drummers and
that.
stuff were.
That's an
because you
interesting
could
way to
hear
look
it
at Mad
over
Max,
the
too.
Scream of battle.
Yeah, so maybe he was playing
The
certain
same
bass
flag,
licks that
yes.
were telling him to do certain things.
That was the purpose of Drummer Boys.
That's-
to-
I mean,
Definitely
it is a
the
bunch of
world.
cars. You can't hear each other
Yeah.
talk.
Dude.
Like, it makes sense.
Vehicular action combat.
All
I don't
for
see
it.
how they're gonna ever do anything better than
All
that.
for it.
Ever.
Hashtag
Yeah, no,
bring
they're
back
not.
Twisted Metal.
Other
Yeah,
than a
dude.
video game. Dude, the
Yes.
show, they made a Twisted Metal show,
Yeah.
which was tongue in cheek. It was entertaining. Like, it was better than I
was
thought. and
good,
I'm,
but
I
it-
saw a little bit
I'm
of it.
surprised
Yeah.
it was made. I was like, really?
Twisted Metal.
Over the
Black.
game.
Just
It's
Metal Black,
surprised
dude.
that we got
It's Metal
that.
Black.
Oh my!
I played,
God.
dude, Twisted Metal
The
2, I
storyline.
played a ton on
Oh,
PS1.
yeah.
I had a buddy,
Black-
Chris Siebert, in like 7th grade. I just remember you go to the Paris level and you could knock down the Eiffel Tower
Yep.
and do all shit. But
But then you go under the
yeah,
map like when you did
And-
that. Like,
yeah. but of course, Black on
Black-
PS2
yeah,
came
'cause
out.
You had to unlock everybody's story.
That was a
You
great
had to know
game.
everybody's story.
Fantastic. They need to bring that back on console. That was the fact that the TV show came out before a game came back. The fuck?
Well, they
Fire.
just looked for the audience they thought would be most receptive and they could off of.
I'm looking at you
That's me.
for your top 10. What's your
You
top
want me to go
10?
next?
Yeah, go next, buddy.
All right, man.
Age before beauty.
And again, man. I took away my list. So we definitely have some crossover, which, like I said to the listener, should only highlight those as
Yeah, it's a plus.
Definitely worth
As
checking out.
Matt
Must
was
see
saying.
TV. Yeah.
And again-
As Matt was saying, if there's a crossover and we all recommend the same movie, if 3 of us say the same thing, then that's
Yeah.
3 times the amount. You need to watch that movie 3 times is what we need.
yeah.
That's a Mikey and Me podcast official movie.
Yeah, that's like a 3-star. Or
Yeah, so
three.
just read between the lines
Yeah.
and watch the right
So,
movie.
and just preface, there's like one of these movies is I could again like this is subjective for me. Like I just think these are that really good. There might be a couple that's like, well, it might be some. There's really only one that I could easily replace, but it hit a nostalgia for me that I thought I didn't expect them to. So, but like I said, mine's not ranked, but I'll save except for number 1. I'll save for last. So, but I would say this is number 10, and everything else in between is whatever. But I was surprised by Jurassic World.
Okay.
Dude, yes. It was good.
Jurassic Park came out. Jurassic Park is such a milestone movie in my life. I was in 3rd grade when it came out, and that was like something that was like, wow, like movies, and just me and my friends.
Just changed
it was
things.
so it changed it seriously. And a lot of my memories I have, like, I can think about was before or after Jurassic Park came out.
Okay.
Which was 93, which is weird, but like.
And how old were you in 93?
I was 9.
9 years old.
9 years old. So it was like one of the first PG-13 movies I'd seen as that young of a kid, but you know, my parents felt it was cool.
Yeah.
I remember I could just go on about memories that are irrelevant, but
for me, it was the VHS. I don't remember if I saw it in theaters, but we had the VHS.
And I had the toys, the Sega Genesis game, the Super Nintendo game. Sega Genesis game, he let you pick between the Velociraptor or playing Sam Neill's character.
Oh, really?
The 2 different. Yeah, dude.
That's legit.
And the SNES version was first-person shooter. Totally different game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's one of the few games where it was released on 2 consoles, and it was completely different.
I think there was a RoboCop game that was like that, too. It was weird. Since Sega, they had a movie game or a game that was completely different. But either way, Jurassic World, it scratched the itch. I feel like it did for like a big budget Hollywood popcorn movie. I think you couldn't ask for more. Okay,
yeah.
So from there, we'll go to The Big Short, which he mentioned. We talked about the reasons why we think that's great.
Great movie.
Let's see.
Fantastic.
I'll go ahead and throw Fury Road out there. That was one of mine. You know, that's an amazing action movie. Can't say anything bad about it at all. Of course, I had The Martian on there, and which was, like I said, for me, it's just that it was just such an enjoyable treat that really like based on the book, as far as like a scientific approach to it, making it as accurate as they could estimate it would be. You know, it did a good job of that. You know, and just, you know, there's just whenever David Bowie's Spaceman song hits on like that one montage scene, wherever like turning around, you can't help but want to smile. It's just like one of those scenes where it's like, damn, dude, or Starman,
Waiting on the moon.
Yeah, dude, Starman. The Revenant
makes me think of guitar.
Yeah, The Revenant. You know.
Yep.
Revenant.
Another good
really
one.
good.
You got it. I mean, that's 2
Apparently
times.
that guy crawled like 300 fucking miles.
No way, dude.
No
way.
You know what? I believe it.
Sounds ridiculous.
You know what? I believe it. I believe it.
Ridiculous.
Let's see. Okay, so here's finally one that
Jeff didn't steal from Matthew.
I was surprised
in his feelings.
by, and I watched not too long ago. I'm gonna show the trailer for this because I don't think a lot of people know about it. The Gift.
The Gift, yeah.
Which stars Jason Bateman and Joel Edgerton. And it was actually directed by Joel Edgerton.
Okay.
It was actually directed by him. So I don't know if it was
7 minutes.
his directorial debut or not, but
7 minutes.
This is a 14-minute trailer, Jeff.
yeah. So I'm gonna show us, and it's
Just mute your mic.
It's a psychological thriller. I would say is the best category for it, and it's Jason Bateman, and this is like 2015. You know, obviously before he'd done a much departure from comedy. This is an earlier departure from comedy, but here we go. Jeff can just try and read the lips here.
He said he can't even see it.
I see it now. He's got it. He's got it rolling.
This is fantastic. The lighting is great.
You like it?
Yeah, you see it?
This is good. I'm very happy.
Excuse me, is your name Simon?
Yes, sir.
It is you. We went to school together.
This is my wife, Robin.
Gift?
This is, I think,
he's
Gordon Mosley. Gordo.
Gordo? Oh, my God. I'm so sorry I didn't recognize you. It's been a very, very long time.
Joel Edgerton. He's like a warrior.
Yeah, he's great. We love
Welcome
him.
home, smiley face, Gordo.
I think he got our address.
That's an expensive bottle of wine. We should thank him.
I believe that the bad things in life, they can be a gift.
That guy's odd.
He's a little socially awkward, but I can be like that.
Gordo, hi.
After high school, and some people stay exactly the same.
Thank you.
That was an old friend from high school.
Thinks that we're friends.
Lobster loves a dinner.
Fish food. You don't find that a little troubling?
I said that I wanted fish.
And all the visits when you're alone. They used to call him Gordo the Weirdo.
I think he's nice, and he's been very generous.
What you're talking about is a one-sided friendship. You're essentially being forced into a breakup.
There's no easy way to say this. Don't visit us anymore.
It's not over.
Simon, after all these years, I was willing to let bygones be bygones.
What does that mean?
I do not know.
But it must mean something.
Yeah, I put the subtitles on maybe that'll.
After all these years.
What the hell was that?
That was big.
Gordo? What does bygones be bygones mean?
It's over.
Simon
They aren't
has
accurate.
a full file on him.
You think he's been lying to you?
Just tell me
We're
what
all
happened.
bygones.
What's 25 years
It's
ago?
fairly accurate.
I have no idea who you really are.
Simon says, new house. Simon says, beautiful wife.
Yeah, so he went to high school with this guy, and you just learn more about Jason Bateman's character, what kind of person he actually is, and that guy, and it's just it was a nice, surprising, unsettling film.
Yeah.
And
No, it was
directed by Joel.
Yeah, he's super creepy in that movie for sure.
Couldn't agree more with that statement.
Yeah. So that was that was quite enjoyable for me. All right, so that means I've already done that one. We've done Big Short. So The Gift, Hateful Eight. That's on mine. Obvious. I think you said the Revenant. Okay, so here are the two. Here are my last two, and my number one has to be. I'll say this. Number one.
You gotta
Which
go
I'm gonna say not my number one last because I don't expect anyone else to
Okay.
say it. But my number one is Sicario.
That's your number one?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dennis Villeneuve. Just I love the characters. We got the biggest man in Hollywood in there. You know, Josh Brolin doing his thing.
Yeah,
The biggest
Josh
man
Brolin.
in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I love
See,
it.
walk in here barefoot.
Yeah, I like the.
What is
I
it?
just
I always forget it.
he can walk in here barefoot and make you feel like a midget. Yeah, because he's got a big presence.
presence.
There's a whole conversation about Mikey's making fun of his height. I'm like, he's just got a bit. He's like a guy who
I
would
just-
intimidate you, even if he's like 5'5".
I just made an observation about how you never see him next to like a water cooler in an office.
Yes,
I just said you never see him next to something like that.
Like a
I don't-
fire
that's
hydrant.
great.
it.
Hey, Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah,
in the Bears is
fire
right
hydrant.
there.
You know,
But
payphone.
I
no, but
love
Sic-
Josh
but
Brolin.
Sicario, and just the way I like seeing represent some of the border stuff. I like seeing the way they have these. I don't even know what cross agencies, if it's CIA, whatever they are, that execute some of these operations.
What's it called? Would be like the ones that took down the Uvalde school.
Yeah,
shooter.
it's like I know that
Vortac.
they
They're
brought
called
what's her
Vortac.
name in just to legitimize some of what they're doing,
You
even
have
though
the
she
Border
was
Patrol,
not
and
knowing.
then there's the Border Patrol tactical
Yeah.
unit that's called Vortac.
No,
They're
but-
the ones that took down the.
But Josh Brolin and his team, I think they're like CIA or something. Like there's something bigger than the
well,
Border
it could
Patrol.
be, but that's
Because like
the same
just the
type of
scene
shit
whenever
that-
they're in the cars is one of the standout scenes. Like whenever they're stuck in the cars, like at
Yeah.
the border, and they're like eyeing, and they'd say, "Hey, we think we have a threatening vehicle there." And you see the gangsters, and just the way they systematically just
well,
get out of
and
the cars
so-
and do like they're definitely former special operations
and that's
guys
what,
based
like-
on their movements. You can
like
tell
guys like Sean Ryan.
Exactly.
that
They
were CIA contractors.
Yeah.
That's that type of shit.
That's what I'm
Whereas,
saying. I think
they're-
it's CIA.
they're Former tier 1 type guys.
Former tier 1 guys
Weird
are
feedback
contractors.
in the
It's
two.
from. It's okay. It's not.
I
It's
can
nothing important.
Yeah, and I can. I think that fixes it there.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that is.
just let me know if he.
But yeah, no, there are like and like I said, like the Vortac agents, like that's like the Border Patrol's like special forces.
Yeah.
Like I said, those are the ones that went in and took out the Uvalde school shooter and stuff.
Okay.
Those guys are like just like the FBI HRT.
Yeah.
The HRT is trained in the exact same tactics that the Delta Force is trained in.
Yeah,
But
that
Delta
makes
Force,
sense.
because their army cannot operate within the U.S. So
Right.
The FBI has
so
to
either
call
way,
in for
like
stuff like that.
all that
So
to
it's
say
like
is just the
they're-
subtle
the-
representations
those
of
dudes
these
were,
these
yeah.
types of people and how badass they are.
Contractors or
Yeah,
Vortac
just like
agents,
and whenever they
like
go the night vision
bad
shots, and just it's its own form of revenge movie too.
Yeah.
There's a revenge story built
absolutely,
into that.
absolutely.
It really is,
and it gets
it
wrapped
really
up.
is a revenge.
No, it
movie.
is. But it starts off as totally. You just think it's about X, and it's like, oh, there's something so much deeper to this.
Yeah. So so great. So that's my number one. But my not number one, which this isn't even a type of movie I'd normally like because technically it might be horror. I don't know. But it is The Witch, which is Robert Eggers' directorial debut. Who's done like The Northman, which was amazing. He's doing the Nosferatu remake, which is in the works.
Viking one, right?
Yeah,
The Northman
with Skarsgård. Dude, it's good.
Yeah. No, I
he
knew
did.
it
He did
was.
The Lighthouse, which was that movie William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, which was done in
was the
black and white.
It was a wild movie.
Which was, I'm just saying. So this guy, he's got a vision, and this is his first movie, and it like, and so I'm gonna show a trailer for this because, like I said, I don't like horror movies, but this was like, for me, it falls under elevated horror. You know, kind of like Ari Aster's stuff with Hereditary, where it's not trying to scare you as much as
Hereditary is the movie where nothing happens, right? Like,
where as much as like unsettle you deeply and likely like it has a lot more commentary about more societal or like psychological.
I've never
or it's
seen
not just
Hereditary.
trying to scare you, dude. It's
No, I know.
It's I don't like horror
Mikey
movies.
tried
but
to
it's-
watch it with Crane
it's
one night. I
It's
was
like
in the
a
room.
masterpiece.
I saw a
dude.
part
But so
where
I'm gonna show the
nothing
trailer for The
happened.
Witch because it's I don't know how many people saw it, and it's just yeah, and it's got Anya Taylor-Joy in it. Is the dog scratching at the door there, huh?
Yeah, it's
If it's not-
potato.
if
but
it's
I don't
potato, you
know
can let
if-
her in.
Well,
Yeah.
no, she's trying to get out. But I don't know
Oh, if the blue's not up there, you can let her
see.
I don't know if they are.
You haven't seen this, Mikey?
The Witch?
Yeah.
I think I have. No, I haven't. No, yeah, it's the one with the goat horns though on the cover. I didn't see it.
Leaving our country,
I don't think so, at
kindred,
least.
our fathers' houses. For what? For the kingdom of God.
So unavailable because like he studied this puritanical like the way their society and culture was for 5 years before he made this.
Oh, wow.
So he did research on the language and their speaking, and so it's super accurate as far as like it being a period piece at the same time.
It's the elders though. They dress up in suits. It's just them. They're just scaring people. It's the village, right?
No. No, I'm sorry. I wish it was.
Jeff's muted.
Oh, I couldn't hear Jeff. He was talking, but I couldn't hear him.
Okay. Now we can if he does.
You've cursed this family.
Fuck you.
There, that was a good.
All right, we can hear him.
Who's there?
Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin. For I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee. None ever shall destroy my faith. For I repentant thou shalt be. Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and don't leave my sin. For I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I
Yeah,
will turn
it's a good movie. I like that you put it on here.
I feel like it's an important like. It's the first movie from this guy who I think is going to continue to like create some very, for me, like high quality important movies. Like everything he's done so far, very, very, very impressed with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
watch it.
Robert Eggers. So anything he does, but
No, because I always see it. It's on Tubi, and I always
should,
see it
dude.
like advertised, and I just haven't clicked on it.
There's blatant like, or maybe blatant or not blatant, depending on the watcher, but like commentary about just just so hardcore puritanical religious fanaticism,
Right, yeah.
just
Puritanical.
to where how like some of the Puritans the way that they were, which is just so such an absurd take. And I'm a person who believes in the Bible, but like they
far
took
the
things
other
so
way.
far,
So far the other
that
way.
it's like they would even I feel like they were just even things that wouldn't even be
Well,
like
it's
biblical
the-
based
it's like
on
the Bible
things that teach.
verse, avoid even the very appearance of evil. Taking that,
Yeah,
to
taking that
to
and
the
just being like
most extreme.
Yeah, like oh, if I have something, if I see something evil, I
Well,
might have
because
sinned.
It's Rhema. It's
you know,
the spoken word of God. It's
Yeah,
like you
and
gotta follow it
that
out.
and along with the destructive nature that can have within a family unit, I think that for me would be like the underlying interpretation of what that is. And then the way it ends, it's there's it's one of those endings. I think it's clear cut, but it's a little ambiguous, and that's when people should check out if they're. Again, I don't like horrors. I don't like that sort of thing. So for me, this is elevated horror. This is psychological, and there's a lot of subtext and commentary within it, and ambiguity.
Jeff's quiet. I can't hear him.
Sorry, the ambiguity.
There he went.
Sorry. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to find the balance between sounds and sounds. But ambiguity, which the use of ambiguity can be annoying, but at the same time, using it just right is where you fill in the blank for yourself.
Yeah.
But being selective with ambiguity is a tough thing, like very tough. But I feel like he does a really
Where
good
it's like
job
you're
with it.
laying out the line work.
Yeah.
You're letting the people color it in.
Yeah, but you can't do that all the time because that'd be annoying.
Yeah.
But if you do it in just the subtle moments to be like, dang it, I'm 90% sure that's what happened, but I'm not sure.
You may lay out the overall tone of the of the movie, but leaving certain parts up for interpretation.
Yep, but that beat me 10, brother.
Yeah, so I was gonna say and I'm good because this really does cover it because I have a couple in here neither one of y'all named, but I also have some that y'all did name. So this is good when they cross over. I see it as being a big plus because again that just means hey man, you got three people that have a cornucopia of a plethora. That's a plethora.
Oh, no, cornucopia would be a fun, more descriptive, like metaphorical use.
We have a cornucopia.
Or you could say quiver, like a quiver of children.
Quiver of arrows.
Our consciousness creates a cornucopia of content.
A smorgasbord.
Wow, look at this. Look at Jeff gazing out the window, thinking of the future.
Wow,
dude.
He's like, you guys whipping
man,
out
that was great.
thesaurus here.
He just soaked it in.
What time
All right.
is it where you're at, by the way?
It's like 1:30 in the morning where Jeff is.
Oh, okay, that makes perfect
It
sense.
looks super light.
He's in Louisiana. Tell him where you're at.
What?
He's
Just
on
in your
Texas
room,
time.
That looks like
Oh, you're saying so?
that looks like
Louisiana?
daylight in your room. Oh yeah, you're in
I'm
Louisiana.
in Louisiana currently.
Louisiana.
Just the
No,
swamp
I will
gas.
not disclose my exact location.
I know it, and I
It's
will
for the
share
best.
it later in
I
the
think she wants back,
description.
We're gonna ping
When
him.
we share the video, we're gonna share Jeff's location if you want to stop in and
exact
say
location.
hi. If you're a hot chick and you're single, go say what's up to. And you're of age, go say what's
There you
up to
go.
Jeff.
Thank
We'll
you
give his
for the
location.
of-age part. Thank you.
All right. So he's got to use the restroom. I'm going to go through my list, and this is unfortunate. Matthew's leaving for my list. It's okay. No, I'm not stalling
make
for
a cut
anything.
mark. Mikey, make a cut mark.
A cut mark. What do you mean? You want me to pause this?
Yeah, just pause.
Now he said let the show go on.
Let it go, Jeff.
I'm gonna go because I'm just gonna name movies right now that he already mentioned. That'll make it easy. So hopefully
there we
he
go.
gets back in time. Where everything's about Matthew, guys. Remember that. The Revenant again. Leonardo DiCaprio. Guy gets mauled by a bear and crawled like I don't know, like some like 300, 200 miles. I don't know. Guy crawled some crazy amount of distance. I don't know. The other movie that I'm going to mention is again, it's Jeff's number one. I didn't really rank any of these. Maybe I'll give one at the end a number one ranking. That might be it. But one that Jeff mentioned, it was his number one movie, and he's not wrong. Mad Max Fury Road, great one to check out. That's gonna be another recommendation of mine. Again, another recommendation of mine that was also, I believe, I know Jeff said, I don't know about Matt, but The Big Short,
Yeah,
Got to check
they
out The
both-
Big
that
Short
was
about
on
the
both
house,
their
about the
lists.
collapse in like 2013 or what was it? Something like that.
It was that was
Or 2007. 06 to
2008.
07. Yeah, 06. It says right here. I just looked. 06 to 07. So sorry about that. And then let's see if I had any more that they mentioned or if it's all on to just my mentions. Yeah, we're on to just my mentions now. All right. So what I would recommend from this year. And Matt made it back for my mentions. So I just went through the ones that y'all had already mentioned. I doubled down, and now you're not missing anything. So now these are the mentions that y'all didn't mention, and that would be the Spectre movie, James Bond. I would say that was a good one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Spectre.
Yeah.
You should definitely check that
Is
out.
that the
That
one
was
with
for
Laqueef?
for James Bond movies. That's a good one you should check
I
out.
think the Daniel Craig movies are going to go down as some of like the best James Bond movies.
Absolutely, he didn't
this
miss on
guy
any
said
of them. Every time
This
he
guy
was in
said
them,
it. I'm
regardless
with
of the
it.
storyline, I liked it. So
No, he always played.
another one of my recommendations would be Black Hat, directed by Michael Mann. And that had Chris Hemsworth in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Black Hat. Oh yeah.
You remember that about the hacker?
I do.
or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah. Because it's just black hat hackers, white hat.
Yeah, furlough convict, and his American.
I'm a white hat.
You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Even though you have a black.
Another movie I would recommend you guys check out is Tom Hardy, starring Tom Hardy in Legend, where he plays twin brothers.
Oh yeah, that was
yeah,
also
yeah,
based
yeah.
on real people.
yeah.
in England, and they're like a gang. They're two.
Yeah.
It's like they're pretty much they like, you know,
Yeah,
that's
It was
good work.
based
run a
on
gang.
actual
That's
people.
a good one.
so Legend. I would say y'all should check
Look at
Legend
you,
out.
Mikey.
There are some pretty great scenes.
Look at you,
that
Mikey.
pub scene where he goes in. That pub scene is great.
Yep.
I love that.
And
one.
the other movie I'd recommend. This is honestly, it's really cool because it's based on a true story, and also it's like super.
I know it is.
Super informative in a way, and it's like, whoa. I don't know if you do, but the Stanford Prison Experiment.
I think that one was good.
I haven't seen it though. Yeah.
Stanford Prison Experiment is a good movie. You should check it
and
out.
it's
It has
also
like a varied.
just-
It involves like pretty much like them doing research on being able to figure out, kind of like inside how guards treat prisoners, stuff like that. They almost make two sects of, class of people within their own group. It's like a study group, and they're like, okay, half of us are guards, half of us are prisoners.
Wait, so two sects different from the existing sects?
Sect.
S-E-C.
Oh.
Sect.
I
sects.
make two sects tonight.
S-E-C-T.
I'll make two sects tonight.
Hey, I hope you do make two sects.
He's like, he wants one sex. Ma'am, I'll take two.
No, sorry,
change their
sects.
sex.
So they split the group in half and made half of them guards and half of them prisoners.
Prisoners are just great for
and
experiments. I'll tell you that.
They ended up.
They really are.
They ended
Psychological
up,
experiments.
it's like you're at the mercy of the state.
You're not a
man.
citizen anymore, basically.
Have you ever looked into the Stanford experiments? They
No.
are like.
It sounds like some very forward thinking.
So it
No,
was an
it's-
interesting.
it's
It was a
crazy.
really crazy
Matt, you would
movie.
dig this.
Yeah.
Great movie.
No,
And
because
then
it is like sociology, like human interaction.
Yeah, I know.
But
That sounds
you,
awesome.
You saw it on display with the a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Where
That's cool.
People like imposing their, it's like, hey, look, I have to.
I
have a family, like the movie that was up for an Oscar or whatever not long ago, where the guy that was the warden, and it's like, would you just do your job at Auschwitz?
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, would you just do your
Jonathan
job? And
Glazer
it
film.
shows,
The zone of interest
with their own classmates, where
That
they would still,
separating like that world because the whole prison world. It's a whole new world and a whole new economy and a whole new social system, and that alone is so fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Mayor of Kingstown, so worth checking out.
Oh yeah.
With the prison stuff, yeah.
It says in 1971, 24 male students are selected to take on randomly assigned roles of prisoners and guards in a mock prison situated in the basement of Stanford Psychology Building.
So they didn't use actual prisoners.
No, that's what I said. It was students at Stanford. That's why it's called the Stanford Prison Experiment.
Were implemented into the prison system.
They did. So
Yeah, Matt. Hold on.
So they had 24 people
Okay.
that were students of a college, and they said all 24 of you get in this room, and then they said half of you are going to be prisoners, half of you are going to be guards. They knew what they were doing. They understood the experiment, shit like that.
Yeah.
And then they experimented and they monitored from there the interactions between the prisoners and the guards. And psychologically, the one person that feels like they have power over another person, that's what they're trying to monitor, is that power trip and all of that.
I guess
goes
my
into
take.
it.
I guess my
so that they were all free men in college participating in an experiment.
So that's what I'm saying. They didn't do this actual experiment with actual prisoners.
No,
or
this
guards.
was all done with actual active students at the college, as far as I understand.
That's the only place where.
Or if they weren't students, they were volunteers from society.
Not actually being prisoners. I don't know how well they could get themselves in the mindset of what it's like to be a prisoner.
But the point is,
thing though, like they're locked in, they can't do. They're treated just like prisoners, and after a while, the guards start getting into that mindset of like they're better than them.
Yeah.
Like,
So even in
assuming
these roles, they acted that same way.
Power over them and be unchecked for it. Like it's kind of an experiment on like human beings left to our own devices.
Now I'm just curious to watch it to see how compelling the argument is.
It's more so a study of like what Jeff said. When you give somebody unchecked power, and it makes it crazier because it's like you and I are in class together. We may go drink on the weekend and stuff.
Yeah.
We may party together, but we're in this class and you end up, and even in that made up scenario. Like,
Okay. No, I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, like I said, it's one you got to check out, man. It's thought-provoking. It's interesting.
Based on true story. It's good.
Yeah. And again, it all took place in 1971.
I knew about the experiment. Never knew
I got a couple honorable mentions too, Mike.
All right, cool. So then the next movie I got would be, I don't know, none of y'all mentioned this. It's not necessarily like, it's not a earth-shattering, groundbreaking, but it was an interesting movie because it gives you, and it gives it gives you a glimpse into like what it would be, what this lifestyle might be like. But Mississippi Grind.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's on my list, dude.
Okay. And it's got Ryan Reynolds in it, and who's the other guy? Is it Ryan Fleck? Is that the other dude, or Ben Mendelsohn?
Ben Mendelsohn?
Yeah, Ben Mendelsohn,
yeah,
the dude
great,
from
underrated actor.
Yeah, he's on a lot of great series.
Yeah,
dude.
so he's in that movie, and it's almost like a degenerate gambler.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Type of movie. But
and
Mississippi,
Ryan Reynolds is a more successful kind of degenerate, but he's still like a degenerate, you know.
So Mississippi Grind, and then this is the one I would really say you could show a trailer for. Unless you wanted to look at you can select out of any of those if you want to watch trailers. Go ahead. The one I would say that this is probably, I'll say it's my number one, and I know and it's kind of like a documentary, but it is a documentary. But the movie Steve McQueen, The Man Le Mans.
Okay.
So it's about Steve McQueen and whenever he filmed the movie.
Not the black director that did 12 Years a Slave. Just so people know.
Steve, that's a real thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a real
The director
thing.
who did 12 Years a Slave. He's a black British dude named Steve McQueen.
Okay, I thought you were you were really shooing one in there, and I was about to be like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
No, but you got to make that joke when you get it.
Okay.
When that joke gets teed up, you got to make
so
it.
what's it?
Steve McQueen, The Man in Le Mans. It's about him shooting the movie Le Mans, which was him trying to shoot.
Also,
and nobody's ever done it. He was trying to do what somebody's never done, which was shoot a movie, like film from the perspective of a race car driver at Le Mans, like to give the people that experience, because he was into race car driving. So he wanted to share that with people.
Okay.
This is a great pick, Mike.
I come from the gutter, and I'm not a compromiser.
The male world film favorite, Steve McQueen.
Groovy, thanks. He loved cars, liquor, and he was cool.
And bitches.
Yep.
He wanted to leave his scratch marks on the history of filmmaking. I'm a driver. I'm an actor.
I think if we ever did
Tom Cruise is trying to be Steve McQueen.
Yeah, he can fucking try.
We would have to put this guy.
Look.
What was happening when we were shooting this movie should happen to no man.
You've got to believe in what you're doing. I believe in what I do.
He was quasi-directing. He made his own rules. He didn't have to answer to anybody.
I'll get all these idiots away from
You betrayed me, you stabbed me in the back. I'll never talk to you again.
Everything was pushed to the extreme.
Now we're going 220 miles an hour. It's death.
The reason
wanted to shoot a motor racing picture because it's always been something close to my heart.
My dad had something that he started, and he wanted to finish it.
Makes me think of Werner Herzog. Just like pushing like even the physical limitations of like what a person can do in a film. Like an endurance
I have
test.
like this shit's like giving me.
Yeah, man. No, that looks.
Yeah, I want to watch this.
That's cool. I'm like,
Dude, I'm telling you, like, so the reason this movie is so fucking cool. Look at this shit.
Look at
the
that.
reason this movie is so cool.
Your pants look like they might be
the
getting
reason
tight.
this movie is so cool, I'm not even kidding, is because it's like this. Literally, the reason you see car chases, movie scene, like anything you see in movies,
paved
is
the way
because
for
of
that.
this. But he was like one of the first to attach a camera to the car the way he did. He literally had like
Okay.
dudes died filming this. Like he had actual race car drivers driving their
Yeah.
balls off for this, and it was like, I mean, it just changed everything. It really did.
It's very Howard Hughes-esque.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
really did like affect movies and how they were shot. And again, from the perspective of driving, he changed stuff. And so
Dang.
it was like, and his obsession with this, it's like, and it was so like, you just got to watch it because they talk about just how long it was and how much filming they took. But I mean, you see the product,
Like
it's a
it
great
was an
movie.
endurance. I'm telling you, it makes me think of this Werner Herzog film, from, like the '70s, called Fitzcarraldo, which
Uh-huh.
just it was like filmed in the Amazon jungle, where like based on its true story of like them trying to pull this ship over like through the jungle to get to like the Amazon River, some part of it that had been accessible.
Uh-huh.
But like them actually doing that in the making of it, and how taxing and almost just making the movie itself was a test of endurance and feat that was pushing every part of the cast to levels that is almost like this. What the hell? But like,
Yeah.
it makes me think of that. You
Dude,
know?
no, you and like us, yeah. That sounds good. I want to. You have to tell me the.
Yeah,
send
Werner
me that.
Herzog, dude. He did Grizzly Man, but
Just watch everything.
but that was
Grizzly Man.
this
What's
like
the what's the volcano one he did recently? That one was really good.
Oh, Joe and the Volcano with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
That's the one.
That's the
Joe
one.
versus the volcano.
And we've had 2 Howard Hughes references tonight.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know.
just
I can't
now
think
and
of
then when
Volcano.
Matthew talked about fingernails earlier.
That's true. That's true.
I had
sorry,
a couple
that was a
honorable
poor
mentions. Mikey brought up a couple of them, but did you guys see Everest in 2015?
No,
I did not.
No.
It sounds horrifying.
It's based on a true story. Our boy Brolin's in it. Jake Gyllenhaal is in it. It's a good movie. Definitely worth watching.
He had to work twice as hard to get to the top.
Black Mass with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Mikey almost wanted to
That was
mention that
one.
one.
Yes, that was a great.
This is also the year that Ant-Man came out.
Dude,
and
Ant-Man.
like we talked last time.
Ant-Man, dude. Ant-Man is that was on my potential
I
list.
think it's a core.
It's a heist movie, dude. It's so great because it's like a heist movie that involves like superheroes. Dude. It's a standout for the MCU.
And then one that we didn't mention, but Room. Have you guys seen that?
Oh
one?
yeah, Brie Larson won Academy Award for that.
Yeah, exactly. You got to mention that one.
Yeah, it's a very emotional film, but Room.
It's
Room
just
was
called Room.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
some
Room.
tough
Not to
subject
be
matter.
confused.
So yeah, Brie
with
Larson, who ends up
The
in the
Room.
MCU, is actually in there. So
Not
there's
to
that
be
connection.
confused with The Room.
But yeah,
which is
I guess
arguably the worst movie.
The Room,
ever.
yeah, oh yeah.
We could do a top 10. It would probably win.
Yeah.
The
So I guess
Room.
some honorable mentions. He said that one. Chappie. I like Neil Blomkamp. I like it. I like Short Circuit. I honestly feel like from the '80s, it just made you think it's Short Circuit. Yeah. And also Dee Antwoord, that crazy ass South African band that I like. I've seen them live.
They're
Dee
one that
Antwoord,
grew
which
on
means
me.
the answer.
Yeah.
In South Africa.
They're one that grew on me.
Yeah.
Like, when I first heard them,
I'm a
when I first
butterfly.
heard, Yolandi
Yeah.
Vesser and what's his name?
Yeah. Like ninjas.
Ninja. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
they have these
Ninja. It's
personas,
Ninja
and they're straight up
Yolandi
personas
Vesser.
that they took on because
But,
they were like a
yeah.
part of some show. But this movie, Creative Control, there was, I think, maybe in one of the, I don't know if it was produced by Amazon, but if it was, it's like one of their first ones. It's shot in black and white. It's unique. I was surprised by it, but it's called Creative Control. It's pretty nutty. And Krampus was fun. I like Krampus. I love Adam Scott. It's like a horror comedy, like about like an evil Santa type thing.
Okay.
It's like it's funny, but and just because we didn't really mention many comedies, Vacation was, I thought it was pretty funny for a movie I didn't expect it to be, and it's so fresh. It makes fun of the fact of it being like a reboot, whatever, and not like it. It was funnier than I expected. Yeah, self-referential. Yeah, that and Daddy's Home.
I left one. I literally had it. I fucking realized when you said comedies, I had it left out,
Dude,
and I pictured it.
Characters in there.
When you said that, I was like, you said that, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's right. I left one out. Daddy's Home
was pretty freaking funny.
Dude, Daddy's Home.
Mark Wahlberg
and Will Ferrell.
And like he's got a kid with his wife, but she's moved on. Is with Will Ferrell. Mark Wahlberg's like all hardcore. Will Ferrell's all, just like the same characters from the other guys, basically.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
But
and
maybe the sequel is where
I
feel like I do remember it.
We just
Daddy's Home was funny.
Yeah, dude. Because I was literally that was one of my picks. Because I realized I'm like, dude, I think I had 9. I'm like, I had another one, and I realized the reason I like got confused is because it's also screenshotted with Mad Max Fury Road, and I forgot that. I'm like, dude, Daddy's Home.
And I love
Mad Max, dude, so good. You just forgot about it.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Daddy's Home is funny, and you can watch it. It's pretty family safe.
Will Ferrell.
Oh no, Daddy's Home is very family safe, dude.
That was a low key.
The other guys,
I think any jokes that they make in that might go over kids' heads.
Well, and when the other guys came out, I remember seeing the preview and thinking like, come on,
oh my god,
that looks so stupid. But like the way he hyped it,
because I didn't expect it to be good, and I saw it, and I was like, and I think Adam McKay directed it. I think that was an Adam McKay film. So
it was. Like,
it was because Dirty John and the Boys. He was Dirty John. That was like the director's cameo.
We will do this.
That was Dirty Mike.
Dirty Mike and the Boys.
Dirty Mike. Yeah, it's Dirty Mike.
In the used car.
Dead baby mouse.
We will have sex in that car again.
We're gonna fuck in that car again.
We will.
What did they call it?
They call it a soup kitchen. He's like, what happened? He was like, did Scarface sneeze on your car?
Oh,
when he fucking drove through the fucking.
Like, do you have another Little River Band copy? He's like, I always have Little River Band on,
dude. He has a stable of whores.
He gets hit with a wooden gun. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. So, but I think there's should leave the listener with some decent selections.
That is some great selections. I don't really
a
have
lot of crossover, which
shows
you should definitely check those out. But then, Mikey, I was impressed with some of your selections.
So what was everybody's? So what was everybody's number one last time?
Mad Max Fury Road. Number
Sicario.
1.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Sicario.
Steve McQueen, The Man Le Mans.
There we go. Mine would probably be the same as Matthew's.
Sicario. Yeah, dude.
Sicario.
I've watched it. I can just watch that over and over.
Such a good movie.
Any movie you can see
any movie that has
somebody getting waterboarded.
Yes.
Anytime waterboarding is in a movie and they're like,
no, but
dude,
the way
that opening scene,
waterboarding, it's called simulated drowning.
No, but the way he steps up and puts his crotch in his face,
I know,
like showing like that prison level dominance, like like I'm gonna shove my cock in your face. And that I own you.
That scene, I was gonna say that scene. They come at you quick. It's like I was like, that really looks like somebody actually getting waterboarded.
I mean, you just heard it though. You just heard it, and you didn't see it though.
Oh yeah.
You just hear it.
Yeah. But it was like it was still like you knew it was going on.
It's more disturbing for you to imagine it than actually see it.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, but you knew like that whole scene, like when that was taking place. It's like. That was just like, damn.
He's having a bad fucking day.
Yeah, because then they show like 5-gallon water jugs.
No, he brought him in. He was carrying him in.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
that's
and it's
why
like,
he brought
dude,
him in.
They're using 5 gallons. Like, you could last a gallon easy.
Yeah,
you can last a gallon of water.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can eat a gallon.
Yeah,
but dude, 5 gallons of water.
And just the shit of Juarez and the border bring that's how it has been or was down there. Like Juarez, dude. And I just really love anything that's, as far as I know, an accurate representation of the way these tier 1 operators work in these situations. I just love how just the expertise of a tier 1 like special former spec ops operator who's doing like contract work. I don't know. Maybe it's because of Chris that I like really into that shit, but I just love seeing the mechanical with this perfect execution of these military special operation tactics that just whenever you see them interspersed casually, Yeah. But
no, dude, that's a fantastic movie. I'm glad you. Did y'all have anything else y'all wanted to add before we take a break or whatever?
No,
Anything you wanted to add about any movies or TV shows you've seen lately that you want to put in?
We
We
don't
don't have
open
a
up
way
that
to do
can
it.
of worms. I mean,
No, but I mean, I know not necessarily a can of worms. Maybe you had some on your mind. There's real quick to
me and
just
him
suggest.
he finished it, but I've only watched the first 2-3 episodes of The Bear. New seasons
Bear.
came out,
Yeah.
which is
It's a
elevated
must-watch.
television, like
Okay.
which is better
Get out of
than
it.
they somehow like set a high bar, and then I'm thinking, okay, if they maintain this bar, great, but so far, and he's seen it all, I don't know, it's like they're still elevating this bar,
Yeah, for sure. They do it.
and it's just.
And that's what I was curious.
It's mesmerizing.
Yeah, and I
because
wanted to
I'm like,
mention-
I'm watching art unfold in this storytelling. Like
Okay.
Jeff said, ensemble cast is spot on.
Perfectly casted.
Yeah, dude, it's just
So The Bear, y'all would recommend, and what is it on?
Hulu.
Oh, it's on
Hulu.
FX, dude. Just
Hulu FX, I guess.
Okay, so
If
if you have
if you have
the ability to watch FX,
If you have
and it
baseline
comes on,
Hulu, you
that,
can
what
watch
night
it.
does it come on?
They released them all at
it's
once.
One of those that just dropped all the episodes.
One of the rare
Okay.
reasons where they.
So, but would it come on like on FX then? If
Hulu.
you did,
I don't know. I watched it on
FX,
Hulu.
You might see it
Okay.
on FX.
So
I don't
yeah, I know Hulu's
Hulu
the best.
FX
I used
is
to
a brand now. I think that they work
I
together,
see,
but
I see.
I think it's just on
because
Hulu.
I don't have cable or any TV subscription anymore, and I remember the days
You
when,
don't
for
have a TV,
instance,
you gave that up.
When it, for instance, you could watch American Horror Story on FX the
Yeah.
night it came out on like
Yeah,
Thursday
no,
night.
It's getting more
I didn't
and
know
more
if they
confusing.
had. I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because
It's
and I
not
kind
gonna
of
be in your TV guide there, pal.
yeah,
It's
but
in the
dude,
recliner.
you know what? I remember the days of the TV guide when you could just
Dude,
go in.
yeah,
My
oh, hell
grandma.
yeah.
My grandmother when that morning paper came, my grandmother would have the TV
Dude.
guide snatched out of that paper before she hit
Dude,
the door. She would
My
grab that
granddad had a
paper,
collection.
and
I had a
before she hit the
VCR
door,
Plus. Do you know what VCR Plus is?
yes,
Where on the TV guide there'd be little number codes associated with them, to where you
Dude.
could set your VCR Plus to record those times.
That was early TiVo.
I
That
as a
was-
kid was looking and doing that
Dude,
shit, man.
so my grandma, I'll never forget that. I'd be in there, I'd ask her questions, but like, when does this come on? She'd be in there, I'd mention something. She's like, well, I don't think that comes on tonight. She'd be out there busting that thing out. So yeah, he said it's not going to be on your TV. I remember when TV Guide, Reader's Digest. Oh my
Dude,
God, we got to
speaking
stop.
of TV guide though, my grandpa used to collect them. He had a bunch, and one time he gave me the Stone Cold Steve Austin one.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's
That's
like, here, I think
legit.
you might like this.
That's you
Dude.
think, Grandpa? You think?
Dude, yeah, Stone Cold. That guy's got a special
Dude.
place in my heart forever.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
for
doubt.
sure.
Because your brother's influence on me at that age
Oh, I imagine with
was so
wrestling.
powerful.
Yeah,
I'd have
yeah.
never given a shit about wrestling, but Chris,
Mm-hmm.
the Stone Cold Stunner, the Stone Cold Stunner. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, dude, that was heat. That's what in the business they call that heat.
Yeah, dude.
And me and
Stone
Jeff are thinking about pretty soon bringing some heat to the business. We might be a tag team duo. The business has been out of heat for a while.
That could be fun.
No, the goal is for you and Caleb to be tag team.
Oh, yeah,
And
but
I'll
you're
be
going to be like our Paul Heyman,
Yeah, I'm the
who
mouth.
R.I.P. just got put through a table recently.
Yeah.
Poor Paul Heyman. Too old for that shit,
R.I.P.
Paul.
R.I.P. Paul Heyman. They killed him on.
Hey, but hey, here comes the comeback of Roman Reigns. That's what I'm hearing on the streets from an Intel guy that's setting it up. Nikki Sixx, shout out Nikki Sixx. He said that he thinks he's just setting
Nikki
him up
Sixx,
for
the
Roman
bassist from
Reigns.
Motley
Oh,
Crue?
100%, dude.
No.
I gotta get on.
He says that he thinks that they're setting up. That's just what they call him. His name's Nick, but they call him Nikki Sixx.
Okay.
But he's setting him up for the Roman Reigns, the return of Roman. He thinks.
Not only that, it's gonna be these two bloodline splits. So
See?
Roman Reigns would be one leader, and then you would have maybe The Rock being the ultimate or the final boss. on the
So
other
you
side.
think that now might be, if somebody's listening and maybe they used to be but they're not, if they used to be into wrestling but they're not, you think maybe now would be a good time to start watching again because there
Bro,
might be some
go
heat
watch
coming?
go watch the last WrestleMania. The Rock is there. What
Okay.
else do you need?
All right.
He's
So,
on.
yeah,
he's on
I
two
think
nights
The Rock
in
is
a row.
Alright.
pivoting a little bit because
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing so well at the box
So
office.
he's like, you know what? I'm going to go
they
back
were on
there
the
and
writer's strike
put some
forever.
people over.
Yeah,
that is
that
true.
To do. Him and John
that
Cena
is true.
were
That
back
too.
for a long extended period because they
Yeah.
had nothing to do.
They're like, what's going on? Let's go beat each other up.
Yeah.
But not only that, it gives you a good showcase of the guys who are doing the work now, and like these guys are good.
Yeah.
But to your point of like The Rock and the Roman Reigns, this is all got what they wanted to do last year was put on The Rock versus Roman because it's a big name thing, right? But it was too soon. It was rushed. It was Cody Rhodes' time. So like Roman Reigns doesn't need a belt anymore to have a big top tier match. So this is all leading up to Roman Reigns versus The Rock at WrestleMania.
I see. Okay. Now it's coming together.
Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but Survivor Series is based in a War Games match, which is the two rings inside of a cage from like back in the 90s. They brought that shit back. They put it on Survivor Series.
I think he
they
said
start building off this huge dynasty of all these people that are related to The Rock, like Rikishi, like the Wild Samoans, freaking Yokozuna. Like
That's awesome.
There's just this huge lineage of people who've been in their family and held titles and stuff like that. So, I mean, you're gonna have one faction of it going against the other faction. If you're watching the product right now, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
So my buddy, the guy said Nikki Sixx. He thinks that he's either that Roman will come back as face. He said the rumors
Super baby face.
He'll come back as
super
Shield.
babyface.
He'll come back. He said as Shield, or he'll come back with Usos.
No Shield with the Usos.
Yeah,
It'll be
and
Bloodline
then he
versus
said,
Bloodline.
but he predicts Nikki Sixx is predicting SummerSlam. That's when it's going down.
100%.
All right. So hey, you heard it here first at the Mikey and Me podcast. Tell them, Jeff, what they hear first.
Bro, Roman Reigns, SummerSlam. It's happening.
Okay.
It'll probably be
Roman Reigns versus who?
Solo Sikoa, who is the youngest of the Uso brothers and the leader of the new faction. Versus
Who they going to lay the beat down on?
Here's what'll happen: Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam.
Okay.
You'll have Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, who are Cody's buddies, come in and try to help, but the Bloodline's going to overpower all of them until Roman Reigns comes out and helps Cody either retain the title or they call the match because shit got too fucking wild.
Tune in, see if he's right.
right.
See if Jeff.
Maybe
I think he's
even
right.
Possibly the final boss, The Rock, coming in. I mean, it's SummerSlam,
All right.
it's a 2-night thing. This is the first
And
time
you
they
just
do
said
it
The
tonight.
Rock's been lacking on his movie career.
I mean,
So
he
as far
hasn't
as-
been
It
performing
makes
as well in the
good.
box
It makes
office.
it would
It's
make
not
sense
that,
for him to
Raz.
come back.
It's that
Yeah,
there
the
was
strike.
The
The
writer's
writer's
strike.
strike.
They had
You're
nothing to do,
right.
But also,
The
he
Black
bought in,
Adam,
like,
he was
TKO
bad.
Yeah.
owns the people who own the UFC and the WWE TKO. The Rock is a very big stakeholder in that.
Okay.
So it makes sense.
So it makes sense for him to bring heat.
adding value
putting
to
in
his
the
own
work.
products.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, all right. Well, you heard it here first. That's our, and we need more of that. We need the wrestling input. We need the predictions.
Oh yeah, brother.
Yeah, and Jeff's dense on that. So we're gonna have some episodes maybe just on that here and there.
We can talk.
But yeah, so I need to hit the little. I need to go to the restroom. But we'll take a little break.
Yeah, it's a good
see what we
time.
want to talk about. Wrap up, and then yeah,
We'll go from there.
All right, that sounds good. Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed that revamped redux of the movie list. I enjoyed it. And if I'm being honest, I like the way we each gave said persons their ground and their time to speak and be able to be heard on each movie.
I think that's a good thing.
That was good. I like how Jeff ranks his, and me and you just, we're off the cuff, but Jeff is organized. He's a man who knows what he wants, and I think that his ranking system brings something to the table. And if we each had ranking systems, it would be too many cooks in the kitchen.
There's a site called Rankr that I've used, and I started trying to do.
Are you trying to tell me stinks?
No, but I'm just saying, like, where you can see people's ranks, but then you can make an account, make your own like ranking, make any rank, whatever. But so like I started one for TV for my top 100, and it's so difficult. Like but I'm just saying, you seem like you're about the rank game, so you could easily go to that site, and I can send you a link, but make like a ranking.
I definitely pay attention to Rankr. I mean, I've looked at some stuff before.
I'm just saying you can make an account to use it for making them. Because then, like, the other people's links, like, if you have some crazy ranks,
Dude, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And that is why Matt, what, just so the audience knows what just happened right now, that's Matt. And this has happened to me many times. Just like as many Christmases as I've experienced, many times has Matt recommended something to me that you're like, this is no ordinary recommendation. What he's doing is maximizing your existence.
I'm trying to.
And that shouldn't be overlooked. It's up to you. He can lead the horse to water, but it's on you to drink it.
Yeah, like that.
So
between
it's
that and Trakt, that site Trakt that I use to create lists for things that I watch of every nature, TRAKT, and then you can see other people's lists. But I have like lists for like so many random shows and things where I don't use that for ranking. I use that just for like record keeping. It's like my record keeping of things watched, and you can rate them, and I have all that stuff. The Letterboxd is another one that's more artsy, but I like Trakt, but
Trakt,
TRAKT.
TRAKT.
Yeah.
You need to come out. Have you ever thought about coming out with the Matthew app, where like you
No,
just
I've
help
made a
people
few, they just
maximize
haven't caught
life?
on.
You help people maximize. I think you could do it. I'm not even joking. I know.
That's
I mean, I think you could help people maximize their life and
You think
existence
so?
on how to
by telling
manage
them
time.
to use pizza boxes as plates whenever
How to
instead of
manage
using
time,
a
how to
plate
not
or
be
tray.
lazy. You have a thing against laziness, and it scares.
Yeah, but I don't
me.
know how. I don't know how to
It
tell
scares
people
me.
not to be lazy.
I don't know, but I mean, I'm saying you can come up with an app.
It's fair.
We got to figure this app out.
That's a fair
I'll
statement.
just crystal meth, maybe.
Whoa. Okay, but then you're going to be coming from my copper and my AC unit, and then my catalytic converter. So we're going to lay off of that. But yeah, that was the movies. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Jeff, you going to be sticking around for a little bit more further?
You want to hang out?
You got
for
time for more talk, or you got to get out of here?
I think that's going to be it for me.
That's
but
it.
All right, man.
Forward,
Yeah, no,
I'll
that
be
was great work.
Later. I got like another week at this job, and then I'll be doing the drywall at the new McDonald's.
Hell yeah.
A deep cut. If you know, you know, and that's all we're going to say.
Hell yeah. But
No, I mean, that's
hopefully,
great.
Hopefully, you should be able to do this around this time regularly, yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll,
even later.
So the people
later
want to
is
know.
greater.
I've been getting hit on the Instagram with
The
messages.
socials are blowing up.
He's been getting hit on emails and comments on
Emails.
Are you going to be coming
Dude,
back? Will
I
you
was
be
talking to my
regular?
mailman about you guys the
If
other
it's
day.
not a one-time passcode.
He checks it. He's checking his email all the time. He is on the Mikey and me email.
Yeah, I need to check that more often.
Like stink on sarsaparilla.
I've given you access to it, so the way if we might have been contacted by somebody and
Okay.
I didn't even see it.
Did Cut Copy respond?
No, I mean that
Dude,
was the
I
last
keep
3
sending
weeks.
out. I keep sending out emails to R.L. Stein. He has not replied.
What? Dude,
Yeah.
R.L. Stein? Let me reach out to him.
I need to.
I'm trying, dude.
Let me reach out to him. I'll tell him whose street he should fear.
I'm going for big fish. I'm just gonna start shooting mass emails every day.
You have nothing to lose.
I'm going to hit him up and say, look, here's whose street you should fear, buddy.
Yeah.
Mine.
I want to get Jared Fogle from prison.
Wow. Okay, maybe not that. Not that
I made
guy.
a Jared Fogle joke a couple
You
weeks
really
ago.
did, didn't you?
Yes.
Wow.
It's
Synchronicity.
a bold move to play the Jared Fogle.
Well,
It is
bro,
a bold
you know
move.
what's crazy?
Like how
Getting
amped
back
up-
to wrestling, I went to a wrestling show and I was like front row, like up there, and they did a segment, and for some reason Jared Fogle, the Subway guy, was there, and he was literally like a couple of seats over from
before
me. And I was like, holy
before
shit!
everything
Like,
went down.
yeah, and I was like,
So
then I
that
thought
means
about it later, and I was like,
you
that
probably
was
saw
that
him
close
whenever
to a
the night
convicted
before he was
pedophile.
possibly diddling somebody a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
Yep. That's hate.
Damn,
It is what
that's
it is.
fucking nuts. No, my boy Jeff has been on camera with Bret Hart, and who else? Who else?
Right, I was right next to Roman Reigns when he came down.
Yeah.
Roman
Oh
Reigns.
shit! So yeah, like my Tim and Eric, like whenever like Tim and
Dude,
Eric
Jeff's
did a show,
been-
and
yeah.
I was able to do audience participation bit with like Tim and Eric,
Yeah.
and whenever Dr. Steve Brule was with, like John C. Reilly with Steve Brule. And then
You were on
I was
stage with Tim and Eric and John C.
in an
Reilly.
interactive skit where they pulled audience
That's
members.
awesome.
So we need to look in from here. What would
Yeah.
be interesting is to look into the 7 degrees of separation theory.
Okay.
Included that with your
But connected to bacon?
relationship to John C. Reilly.
I mean, that wouldn't be too hard. But
Well, I mean, I don't know. Okay, fuck it. Let's not do it. You know what? Let's
I want
do.
to see how he relates to
Let's
maybe
fight-
the dude
let's
across
fight-
the street over there.
praying mantises.
Give me 7 degrees to like your neighbor 3 doors down. That'd be wild.
Okay.
And I could do it.
Okay. Like that.
I could do it.
Okay.
Complete stranger, walk up to 7 degrees of.
All right.
How do we? Let's find a connection.
7 degrees
it
of
could
separation
be. It
from
could
this
be somebody
stranger.
that knew some family member that went to high school with somebody, and boom, we'll like count it there.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock the socks
I'm
off
gonna
of
realize
you
I know everyone in the world
in the most heterosexual way, dude.
I'm gonna be like, man, I know everybody.
Dude,
we're all related through Jesus Christ.
You know, Adam and Eve.
Hey,
we're all related to Adam and Eve.
Matt's. Yeah.
There's only 2 humans started it all.
Well, there we go. Well,
We're
that's
all
the perfect thing for
extremely
Jeff
distant
to
cousins.
bid us adieu on.
Yeah.
We love Jeff, and
Yeah.
we thank him, and we
And
hope
we
that
can
we
do
can.
all things together.
If
through
everybody,
Christ who
if
strengthens
everybody
us.
would
That is
hit
true.
our
I do believe
Patreon,
that.
if we can hit our Patreon, you guys can make sure Jeff is here every week for just $50 a day.
He's not cheap, guys.
$50 a
For
day.
$55 a day.
What we're bringing here for free is not cheap.
For
It's not a cheap
$60 a day, you can get Jeff. Make sure Jeff stays on the Mikey and Me podcast
Yeah.
for a small payment of $65 a day.
Installments daily.
Daily, 65
installments.
Some bi-daily.
Daily investment.
And when you step back and you think about
That's
it,
true, because it's an investment in the future quality of
and
life.
when you think about it, $70 a day is not much.
$80 is not a lot.
$75 to $100 a day.
Look, $200 for a good day.
What you pay
Sign
for in
me
toilet
up.
water.
You guys seriously,
$200 to go to sleep saying now's a good day.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
y'all need to seriously take this offer up before it's going up as we speak.
We're guaranteeing
You gotta lock Jeff
a
in.
life worth living.
Lock Jeff in now at this rate
Yeah.
or else.
Yeah.
So,
You
well, we
won't
love
feel
him.
suicidal after this.
Yeah, you won't.
Ah.
Yeah, I know. We love him, and we appreciate all the time he's given us. But seriously, guys, hit that Patreon
Yep.
with just only
Yeah,
like
once we
$300
make
bucks
it.
a day, man. And that'll be enough to keep Jeff around. It'll buy him cigarettes.
Your kids will appreciate it.
No.
Don't smoke.
Don't-
Don't smoke, kids.
No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't smoke cigarettes. He smokes movies. He's a movie
Every now and then
maniac.
I don't smoke cigarettes. I smoke fools. Come on.
Smokes fools. Blip, blip, blip. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you for joining us, brother.
Thank you, good
And
sir.
until next week,
Yeah.
we'll be seeing you, traveler.
Be seeing you.
Be seeing you.
Later, fellow travelers.
Yes.
Yes, be seeing you. Yeah. Look at that.
Look at that.
God. Who is that guy?
That's your friend.
You know him?
He's becoming my friend.
How'd we meet him? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
It's a wonder to me.
He's becoming my friend. Yeah.
I'm about to look right now on the Xbox app. I have a feeling he's not getting. I think he's going
about
to
to
play.
get on it and play
He's
some
going to play
video
video games. Yeah, no, he's
And-
playing. He's probably about. He's like.
He's
but-
living the life. Probably, both of us want to
yeah.
deep down.
No, but instead we're just staring at each other.
Yeah. So there's a
well.
lot we could talk about. There's a lot we couldn't talk about. You know, it's okay. Oh yeah, and that we're good. But I'm glad you're
Awesome.
mine. You
Yeah.
haven't watchful.
Yeah, watchful eye on making sure we got
Watchful eye.
good audio
Okay, yeah,
for
you know
our
what,
friends.
and this kid's coming the rest of the week, but it's simple. But on the how to not I don't give a f, or how to not give an f something podcast. Mark Mason he talks about some pretty interesting stuff all over the place, kind of with just human daily psychology, understanding yourself better, and self growth, and all these different things. But like on one point he was talking about, and he'll reference a lot of the information he comes with, but it's I feel like it's a simple life system that can greatly, if you can do it, improve just your if life is overwhelming, at the end of the day, no matter what your problems you're going through, if you solve all your big problems right now, they will be replaced by other problems you feel the same way about. And if you have 100 problems, and some are bigger than others, obviously, and you have some that you're unsure of, like, just intensively pick the problem you want to try and solve. Like, choose your problems. This is what it comes down to. The concept of choosing your problems. This is where knowing you're gonna have problems, you can't solve them all, and just knowing that, okay, I know I got this, but I'm choosing the problems to focus on that I think carry the most value or are more important for whatever reason. And it seems like you would assume you just do that naturally, which I'm sure a lot of people do, because But instead of just like knowing you have problems that overwhelm you, just like choose the ones that matter. Like really, it can be tough because how do I make it not matter to me? So I'm kind of talking it out. But that was the general idea of choosing your problems.
Okay.
And like I said, talking about it seems like, yeah, we all do. But I think it just has more to do with your approach to managing them. It's, for me, it made me think of like, I'm going to pick the hill I die on in an argument. Or if I want to bring up something with Steph, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to put energy into winning her over on this because it's just going to be a fight not worth living. Or if she wants me to stop doing like incense, it's not a hill I'm going to die on, if I'm going to die on the hill, I'm going to choose those hills. You know what I mean? So it kind of made me connect to that realm of thinking. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
No, that's really I like.
You've heard that before, right? Like I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna,
I'm not going to choose this hill to die.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the hill that I'm going to choose to die on.
So it's like applying, I guess, choosing your problems to choosing your battles to choosing what's worth expending your energy and time on. And knowing that you could, like I said, and it comes back to this blue dot effect thing that I mentioned before, which I can give a simple example of. Didn't I talk to you about the blue dot effect?
I think yes, I believe.
If not, I talked to my wife about it.
I think either in an audio message. You can quickly say it though.
Yeah. So the blue dot effect it comes down to just a
little bit of a preface here.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm just doing this for a high level summary because, actually, I bet ChatGPT would say it better. What is the blue dot effect? What is the blue dot effect? It refers to a psychological phenomenon where the presence of rare or uncommon events can lead individuals to perceive those events as being more frequent or widespread than they actually are. It can manifest in various contexts, such as decision-making, perception, and judgment. It participates from a study where participants were asked to identify the presence of blue dots among a series of dots of different colors. It was purple was the other color, in varying shades of purple. When the number of blue dots is gradually reduced, participants said to perceive the purple dots as more frequent than they actually were. So the purple dots started looking blue, some of them, because they took away blue dots. This shift occurs because the brain adapts to the scarcity of blue dots by lowering its threshold for what it considered a blue dot. So they started taking blue dots away but had the same number of dots. It's like your brain was set for there to be 50 blue dots. So these shades of purple, I'm going to start thinking they look blue to me now.
Okay.
So taking that in a broader effect, it illustrates how people adjust their criteria based on the frequency of certain events or stimuli. For example, like a workplace where negative feedback is rare, employees might start thinking that neutral or even mildly positive feedback is negative, right? And I was just thinking, and for me, and that can still sound confusing, I think of societally, in just me saying it, and like what racism is. I think what true racism is people act offended by things that aren't racist at all. Like if I were to say, oh, I just saw this black dude and this Asian dude, they might be like, whoa, African American and Asian American, like, or just, you know what I mean? You can still say that sort of thing.
I don't know quite. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm trying to pick up
certain, like, I feel like there's stuff that you can, like, just looking at movies 20 years ago, if they made fun of, like, they'd make jokes about things a certain race did, like even white people. They make fun of white people and the way they act.
Gotcha.
To make fun of a race and how they act. It's not hateful. It's just making jokes.
I see.
There's hateful true racism, which comes from a place of hate and like using slurs and stuff. But there's this, you know what I mean?
Perfect example is a buddy of mine who's Hispanic. He's Mexican. He made a joke about me, like about we were talking about foods and culture and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, man, he's like talking about like what they eat, because we were talking about leftovers and stuff that people have at their house. And what do y'all usually have? What's something in your fridge that y'all have all the time that's there? So we started talking, and Pila said something. My boy said something about like, you know, the stuff they got in the fridge. He's like, find some beans, this and that, blah, 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 for
Yeah.
all this. He's like, started listing all these different things off about that you might find in the fridge. And then he was like, man, that's how you eat good, bro. He's like, that's why we're all big. He was like, if you want some fucking turkey and ham and cheese sandwiches, bro, go to a white person's house. And I started laughing my ass off.
You didn't have any of that
because
stuff in your
I started laughing my ass off because I had turkey and cheese in my fucking crisper. So I'm like, he's right.
So that's the
he
thing.
was
It's
right.
making
so that
fun
it
of a
wasn't
stereotype
it wasn't
isn't hateful.
No, because he wasn't. While he did say, if you want some turkey and cheese and like turkey and cheese sandwiches, go to a white person's house.
Why couldn't
but
you do
he
that about
was
any
right.
other race?
Huh?
But why couldn't you do that about any other race?
Because they're not. That's not something in their wheelhouse. Like it's.
I know, but I'm
something
just
that-
saying every race would
Oh,
have
I see.
specific food in the fridge. High
Yeah,
odds.
I see.
So if I were to say
Yeah.
whatever a common black food is,
Gotcha.
like, oh man, no, if you want fried chicken
No,
or
yeah,
watermelon,
okay,
go to
okay,
their
yeah,
fridge.
yeah.
And even if you took like, and I'm not, or just pick something realistic if you're African American, and that's. But if it's like that's actually common, you're just.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's not hate centered,
I would say one thing would be oxtail. A lot of oxtails are fairly common.
Yeah.
Something you're not going to find in like
This
a
is like
white
making
or
fun of
Hispanic
things that
household.
certain races and
But you'd find
cultures do.
oxtail like that. You'd find lingua, menudo.
Yeah.
You could find that. in
Like
a
that
Hispanic
is not
household.
racism. That's not hateful.
No,
it's
it's
not
just
trying to
something
be.
that-
It's just like making fun
Well,
of what some people wear or something.
I feel like just for maybe perhaps let's just back up a little, slow down. For anybody who perhaps heard any of this and was like, "Whoa." I think the thing that's important to keep in mind when it comes to talking about stuff that's racist and things like that is the story that we all know of the boy that cried wolf. And it was a boy crying that there was a wolf, but there was never actually a wolf there. One day there's a wolf and he cries for it. Nobody takes him serious because he's been crying for the wolf, right?
Yeah, he cries, they come, and the wolf's not there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then finally one day he cries and the wolf is there. And so the point is that it's
And
like,
nobody shows up because they've been
they
like,
think he's
you've
full
been
of it.
playing us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that's important to keep about what Matt's saying and keep in mind, like one of the important, I think, takeaways personally, is that if you're lowering the bar for things that you're, quote, calling racist or whatever, or things like that, then when actual things happen and actual offenses and lines are crossed, people aren't going to take those as serious as they should.
Yeah.
Because you're over here trying to say that the fact that somebody skipped you in line was because you're white.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they probably didn't see you.
Yeah. And I'm just
And
saying the
reason
fact
that
of
this
perceiving
happened
that is because of this effect.
Yes, and so you can, exactly, and I wanted to preface again,
Yeah.
just say all that, just to say that what this is understanding that it's like it's not saying that those things aren't there, they're not real. It's like it's making sure that those things are acknowledged correctly, and we're not blipping the radar with this bullshit. That's like
and
trauma. You didn't.
Trauma is
you
another
didn't
thing. People's trauma. Trauma has lost its value.
It's
actually
like-
traumatic events. People's like, that's my trauma. It's like, no, that's
what
not
I'm
trauma.
trying to say is that my point is that like you didn't get cut off in traffic because that guy didn't cut you off because you're white. This didn't happen because you're white. This happened. A lot of times it's chalked up to other things.
Yeah, it just happened.
And incompetence, things happen. So
Yeah, nothing
and
to
that's
do
what I
with the
think is
race.
important to remember here is that it's like it's not saying that these things aren't there, but it's, we want to make sure you're specific and because there's a lot of real things that happen and people don't believe, and also too there's people that won't say it because they're afraid of that. Some people are afraid of like, no, they're not going to believe me. It's like they're just going to think it whatever, They're like, I'm trying, because I personally know somebody that something's happened to, and he didn't want to make a big deal about it because he was like, I don't know, I just didn't want it to seem like I was just tripping over something that wasn't a deal.
There's, like,
But
still
it was a
true
fucking
racism,
problem.
but yeah.
It was a fucking problem.
If things-
but he personally didn't
yeah.
want to pursue it because he was like, I don't want to be seen as this, and it's like you fucking should.
Yeah, and that's almost a different thing altogether,
Yeah.
honestly.
Sorry,
But no, it's a good point though. But here, fun sight with some other examples because the effect isn't. It can be anything. So in the pre-Uber days, pre-ride sharing, people were willing to wait 30 minutes for taxi to come home. Right?
Mhm.
That was cool. Well, today they'll complain if there's a 5-minute delay. So just the standard of living and adjustment.
I see.
The goalpost keeps moving, right? Wi-Fi speed was a fraction of what we have today, right? Yet we'll complain if a page is low. Like I remember when it would take
Dial
a
up
minute to
took
page.
it'd take you how long just to turn your computer on?
And it makes sense just because to me it's it's almost like, okay, that's obvious. It's like what normal has changed, what's the standard has changed.
Yeah.
So at the same time, like some of the blue dot effect, I mean, I don't even necessarily think that's a great example, right? Because we were wait for things to take like snail mail before email. We were willing to wait because that was the standard. Once technology and society advance, if the standard moves, see, I don't even like these examples because I just feel like it pertains more to like, okay, one of the studies is they would list like a bunch of like offenses, you know, like were terrible, and then they would just like start listing or faces. They would have a really mean face and like a smiley face, and then gradually they would the mean face would get more neutral to where like people were interpreting a neutral face as a mean face.
Okay,
you know, to where like the mean face still exists, but with it's
no, it makes sense.
It's so rare.
Saying,
it's so rare, or that with that now a face that isn't mean, people look at mean because the true mean face is society. It can be a good indicator for things, but it does just because the mean face is rare doesn't mean a neutral face should be taken as mean.
I see exactly what you mean. Yeah,
that's probably the best way I could say.
Yeah. No, it's descriptive. It's perfect. It's understanding exactly. It's what it almost comes down to is not misinterpreting emotions.
Yeah, or and it applies to anything.
Yeah, and so that also, in my opinion, also comes into a whole area of like understanding. Number one, your perception, how you perceive something.
Yeah.
You know, like how something by yourself is being perceived, and also
that
it's
your
like
perception is unique.
Yes. And how many things that it's like also that are, you know, how much of people's intent are actually left out of certain things. And sometimes you're creating shit in your mind.
Well, yeah, perfect example whenever you assign tone to a text message that has.
Yes. Yeah, I've sent text messages.
Whenever you've just said, I'm good, and they're like, I'm good, but you're just saying like, no, I'm good.
No, you're like, no, I meant like, no, everything's cool.
Right?
You're like, no,
and
I'm
honestly,
seriously not mad.
People can talk crap about emojis and stuff, but that is where the value of memes and emojis come in.
Hieroglyphs.
Because we have ways to display emotion through little images.
Yes.
So that's why I could say this sentence and put this face in there.
Smiley
and
face
it's
behind it, laughing,
emotion
crying.
To it.
Yeah.
So it's honestly, it's the evolution of text language to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, for sure.
I don't think people should forget how to have a written language.
No, it's something that can accentuate and help. It can assist. The reason emojis can be good is because the whole texting has brought up that issue, what you just said. Before texting,
you talked to them
wasn't
or you
quite,
wrote a letter.
When people were a lot better with pen and understanding of how words and sentences were structured to where they wouldn't
communicate that way regularly. Like I didn't regularly.
No, but I'm saying
talk
that like
written word with people.
No, but I'm saying people. So time out. Not you specifically, but people as a whole used to write letters and things like that. And I'm saying that people.
But that's not even comparable to text message. Text message is a real time conversation. So that's basically. It's that unique because generally people can have gaps. But a letter was written with knowing this is not going to be seen for weeks or whatever. A text is intended as instant communication.
And I was trying to say that you wouldn't have the whole emoji. You wouldn't have the need for emojis without text is what I was kind of trying to say. It's like texting brought about the need for the emoji in a way.
Correct.
That's the only point I was trying to make is because people back when you were just writing, if people, I think people further back had a better understanding of the English language and sentence structure, things like that, better than I.
Yeah.
To where people could write something out and not interpret it incorrectly, but it's like the emojis are the whole things that from texting and that whole beast that creation of technology, in my opinion, has brought forth the need
or
whatever for.
Because in a letter, I'm good. They would have been like, I'm very well for these reasons.
Yes.
Versus I'm good. You know,
the because shorthand of
just a letter. You know what it was in the intent and the thought that go. You're sitting there writing a text.
Yeah.
It's like a tweet. Can be like, dang, I wish I didn't do that. I was kind of drunk. You're not gonna drunk write many letters and get to the mailbox and mail them.
No,
you know what I mean?
No,
So that's the evolution of language. But again, and kids shouldn't forget written language because at the end of the day,
it's important.
We don't want to be totally reliant on technology.
No, and it's a great outlet.
If you have to read, but like imagine if a world exists where technology and everything was destroyed and reset, like if people literally we got to the point where we lost the skill set to like have written communication, that would be a tragic place to be. But it's just like it's happening one way or the other. So let's kill everyone.
So I guess the next thing, do you want to talk about what we mentioned out back, or do we want to?
I mean, no. Oh, Rawdogging?
About the whole Rawdogging trend.
It's
There's
funny
a whole
you mentioned
trend
that because I just
I was so
it, like,
shocked.
within the last week.
I was so shocked when I said it that you already knew what I meant,
and that there's a movie being made by it,
and that they're and how. What is that? Serendipitous, ironic, whatever. That we're doing movies on our podcast all the time.
Yeah,
and now they're going to be doing that. So, what could we explain what Rawdogging is in the terms of what we're speaking of, not what people might know it as?
This is probably be a good time to pull up internets. This is as of June 8th. The Google AI, the latest trend catching attention among travelers around the world is the practice known as Rawdogging during flights. It entails passengers intentionally opting for complete mental detachment throughout the flight, abstaining from any form of entertainment or stimulation. So honestly, and some of them aren't even getting up to use the bathroom and stuff. It's stupid. It's a digital detox.
Yeah.
It's what it is. It's like everyone's a heroin addict to their phone. It's literally detoxifying. But I'm cool. I'm glad that this is a thing because this is good for people.
No, absolutely. The fact that people are willing to do this and
it's good.
No, it's a good step in the human the evolution of like human consciousness.
Yeah,
exercising
will and like the ability that I don't need to be constantly entertained
and and getting back and understanding and getting back to the value of it. Yes,
hey, that's great.
That is a positive trend.
Rawdogging? Yeah,
that is a very positive trend.
It'd be like helping bums out or donating to charity. This new trend's catching on. Like it's just like a mild form.
Go buy all
good for people.
Yes.
Well, or it's like there was one I remember a while back.
Or daily mile run. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
like
losers.
Going out to eat with a group of friends. There was like the one where it was like you go out to eat with a group of friends and everybody puts their phone face down on the table and the first one to check it ends up having to pay the bill or whatever.
That's cool.
Stuff like that where it's like
or dinner parties where like they make people drop the phone off at the front, like okay, it's like a no phone dinner party.
And I do my best to try to like do that shit. I fall short.
Oh yeah,
quite a lot, but
it's so that's something. It's cool. It's a type of trend, but it's actually good. For good for humans.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's funny that it's like. I saw it pop up, and I'm like, wait a minute. So, and that it just brought up and made me think about when I'm fortunate enough, and I really do say fortunate because I feel fortunate to have grown up in the world without cell phones and the constant contact and the access to the internet. That
shit is crazy.
I grew up in a time where it was kind of unusual. Like not everybody had internet, not anybody had internet access. Not everybody had that. It's like some people that had internet, it was like, holy shit! I remember
the day I got 56K,
bro.
It's like, yeah.
I remember 9/11, like when that happened, and having to call on a landline to Pop's house.
Yeah, because I didn't have a cell phone until I graduated high school.
Nobody answered. Like I called 3 or 4 times that day, and then finally, like that evening, Pops answered and was like. They went out to Mom's. Like, but yeah, you just didn't know. You didn't have access.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like so
too as much as he could be.
One, I think
he knew that there's a chance it might be well. So emotionally, people are getting as emotionally stretched out over not getting a text in 2 hours as they were not hearing a phone call for a day or two. They're literally getting that, and again, that's the blue dot effect.
Yeah,
what should stress you out and shouldn't stress you out. People are getting stressed out by stuff that should not
stress them out. Because it's like it used to not be. It was never. It's like why it doesn't.
Yeah,
so what that it takes you 5 minutes longer to get some food. It's like back in the day it would have taken you 45 minutes altogether.
Yeah, but now you're getting mad like it's been that long to where you want to complain and get angry. But it's like that's not the right emotional response to your situation.
Get mad about these things. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like I was telling you, it's the blue dot effect, which there's like been studies about just how society the reduction of like.
So what was the
It's I guess it'd be like in the over
Just
time
say
like
the mad happy face.
Yeah, like
analogy.
over the absence of like say bad things. So like the simplest thing is if they would show people pictures of like a blatantly drawn mean face and a happy face in like in rapid frequency, and then like over time they'd reduce the number of mean faces and it would get like less and less mean to where then it would just be a straight face. But people would say which one's the mean face, and they would look at that and it would be the mean face.
Yeah.
So the normal face was, they literally reacted to it like it was a mean face.
So that's how women get RBF?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Blue dot study.
That
It's the
is
resting bitch
it.
face.
It's just like if they're sitting
Holy
there
shit,
and they
so
look
they
mean.
MK Ultra'd all these women?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so it's basically the mean face still exists, but people are reacting to a neutral face in the same way the mean face was.
Okay. Yeah.
And just because there's less and less of the mean face. So that's like as society
went
gets
heavy on it.
as society
You went
gets
heavy on
better,
it and
there's like
totally,
less true racism, and less true racist acts. Things that aren't really that bad.
Yeah.
People are acting like
now you're at
you know,
microaggressions.
and
It's
that's
Yeah, we were talking about all that earlier.
and yeah, and so that's everything, and you can apply. You can see that trend in everything that humans touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything's human. And blue dot effect. You should look at. It's pretty crazy.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Look into it.
But yeah, so there's a double
Not to go
dose.
back.
That was good. Quick little another way of trying to quick summarize it, but
no, that was
and
fantastic.
raw dogging, you know, and raw
Dude,
dogging means something else too. Which is
does.
it's funny.
but we
It's
have
how
to be
you end up with a
specific
baby seal.
about what we're. We got to be specific about
Like,
the raw dogging.
I wonder who
we're
picked the
speaking
word
of.
raw dogging, because literally it's a reference to like having sex without protection.
Yeah, that's exactly
Well,
what
it's
it
a-
is.
It's a raw.
So in this I guess analogy and metaphor, the phone is their emotional protection.
Yeah.
The phone
that's
is their
your-
protection
that's your
from
bubble.
being unentertained.
Society
Because
and
somebody's
everybody
not-
else.
well,
Nobody's
It's your
going to talk to
protection
you.
from not being entertained.
No, it's your protection
from
it's your
like
protection from
the
outside
absence of
interference.
entertainment.
Because if you're looking at your phone, the average
I
person
think
is
it's
gonna no.
I
Because
don't
if
think
you're
they care
sitting
about
here
outside
looking
of
at your
interference
phone,
as much as like, what am I gonna do? I need stimulation.
Yeah.
But also too,
Getting that stim.
it's like if you're sitting there looking at your phone, the person that's next to you that was maybe going to ask you a question or maybe going to talk to you is like, I can think of times I've been working around people that I don't want to fucking talk to.
Yeah.
And it's like, I see them coming and I'm like,
well, that's where
I'll
actual
pull my phone
conversation
out,
and
that's
body
what-
cues.
And that's, but a lot
What
of people
don't know anymore.
understand that
Yeah.
because they're in their fucking shit all the time. And so it's like,
Be like-
I can be as physically fucking standoffish as I am capable of being.
And I can
a
get-
motherfucker will still come
I can
talk
give
to
you
me.
short answers, and I can
And
make
they'll
I can
still
make it
not
obvious
catch it.
I'm not interested in this, and they'll keep
But if
talking.
I pick up my phone and like
Yeah.
do like this,
They
they'll be
respect
like,
that defense.
"Oh." And
That's the
so
protection.
That's the raw.
So
dog.
that's it.
That's the phone is the
That's
prophylactic.
that's the best.
the
That's as good as a thing I could think. But and it's great because it's literally just digital detox. If they called it that, less people would probably be doing it.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, if they
actually labeled it the productive thing it is, but they just took a vulgar not even vulgar, but vulgar description to an extent.
Yeah.
You know.
Huh.
Unsafe sex.
Unsafe
People are the new rage on
So
TikTok.
the new ratings
unsafe
on
sexting.
unsafe flying.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't quite have the same ring.
No.
Like, so
like-
we're flying Boeing 737s.
Yeah.
Unsafe flying. No, they just call it raw dogging.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, no. So that was interesting. I think it's funny that you had also known about that. And the thing I was just going to mention about it again is that it's like, I think that what I think is cool and positive about it again is we've already mentioned some of it, but the fact that I think eventually what's going to happen is that people are going to start off doing it as like, haha, whatever, this is funny, but then they're going to realize like
a benefit from it.
How much, yeah, exactly. They're going to realize a benefit from something to where eventually it's like the same way maybe people wouldn't answer their phones because they're like, sorry, I was in a sauna or I was at the gym. It's like, sorry, I was raw dogging life. Like where I was just not touching my phone and out just living life, going to the store with no phone, whatever. It's like, so
yeah.
I could see it eventually where it just became it became something to where culturally it's almost like a slang thing or something, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
where
a
it's
raw
like,
dog going to the movies.
It's like,
I do
yeah,
strive.
A raw dog going shopping today.
yeah.
I do
It's
strive
like-
to be that type of person that can
Yeah.
just leave my phone at home. But
it is
in the back of our minds, we think there's the one call that you're gonna miss,
that
which
you're
that's
gonna
a
need.
fear that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
That's mine.
It is.
No, that's
It-
everyone's. That's
But
everyone's
I
thing.
feel like the times that I have, it was like I can think of times recently, and I can't think of like exactly what it was, but it was like I missed that call, and then it turned out to be something. It was like, oh my god, I wasn't.
So
there.
this
And
phone
it
is
was
some
my greatest
supernatural
fucking
protection.
man,
By keeping it on you is keeping the bad things from happening.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, that's.
Yeah, it must be.
Or not keeping it, but maybe just statistically,
less-
every time you happen not to happens to be those times.
Well, and yeah, it's like it's just one of those things where it's
Yeah.
like, what if you catch that call that like seconds count,
Yeah,
and, it's
I mean,
like-
I'm just saying, like, I don't think I've had
That's
one of
what I
those in my
think.
life yet.
When you're
No,
thinking
and
about the
it's
bell
rare.
curve, life
Yeah.
at a bell curve, like think of it like how many times are you gonna have that call?
So
where
and that's
it
like
could
our
be that
dad.
rare that it's
No,
worth
no.
having that on you all the time.
Our dad don't give a shit. He'll drop his fucking phone and
All-
go for a 4-mile walk. Like,
all I'll say is I don't disagree with you, but if you're a person in that spot where something does happen and you don't have your phone, you're gonna blame the fuck out of yourself.
yeah.
And you're gonna
And you're gonna live with regret
to the day you die.
So
That's
so you're
my
not.
thing.
So I don't disagree with
So
what you're
it's
saying.
worth it for that.
But if that event did happen where you say I'm leaving it and I'm not doing it, and you could have helped in a situation,
or heard your parents speak to you for the last time before they die.
yes, then you're gonna blame yourself the rest of your life. So I totally agree, and I wish that.
Because we live in a world where we have that option.
It's just
Yes.
it's just
To
the
where
nature
now
of the
there's a
world
whole
we live in.
situation that would have never existed where people back in the 40s or whatever 50s 60s that crashed on a
Teddy
plane
talked
that crashed on a plane or something. They had no people on the ground knew they had no chance of talking to them again. But people now, it's like you have that option where it's like somebody in a situation could call you, hey,
Yeah.
I might not make it.
Yeah.
I love you. But so yeah. So that's funny how with certain things how they go along, things that never even would have existed or been an option are now like I don't disagree though, and
Yeah.
I wish we could.
No, and that's
We need to go back to pagers in two ways.
I feel like embracing however it happens is how it was meant to happen.
that is also a
for me.
very
That's
good,
the
like-
best way to do it.
Yeah.
Like if that's the time I left it, that I
There was
wasn't
a
meant
reason-
to hear
yeah,
them.
there was a reason.
I'm
You know?
not. I don't disagree. But having
But
been
sometimes
in a
it's hard to find that
situation,
perspective.
having been in a
Oh, yeah.
situation like
because it's so easy to argue the other way.
yeah, and having been in a situation where I kind of had regrets and stuff like that, and with that type of stuff, it's like I don't disagree, but it is
Yeah.
there are those things that can still pop up, and it's like
I think it's like maybe it's fatalism, like
Yeah.
just accepting that like every event
Mhm.
is the absolute like out. That's exactly how it's gonna play
Yeah.
out, and it's meant to play out that way. Like that's
well, and
how it
also
was
too
meant to be.
understanding that not everything that you perceive to be a negative is actually that negative when you step
Maybe.
back and look
And
at
it's-
the grand
and it's
scheme of things.
It's weird because just connecting it to the bear, the second, like the end of the second episode, like this guy in the first last season, he's working and like his mom passed away while I was working, and he either like could have been there or like she maybe, but either way, like in the coworkers were telling him like she's like we know we're here for you if you need you, like I'm sorry that I made you work late or whatever, and whenever you could have possibly been with your mom, and he's like, no man, it's like I was where I was meant to be when that happened.
Wow.
So it's weird. It's like that's taking it to a deep level, but it's just like
no.
But like he could have been, and that's his mom dying. But he's like, I was where I was meant to be. I was doing what I was doing what I was supposed to be doing.
You're not wrong because I've been there again with the passing of a relative that I had. There was some things that I kicked myself over and was like, I should have recognized that. I should have said this. I should have done that. But then at the end of the day, it's like realizing the outcomes of those things, and it's like what was better in the end is, so what? Say I did know that something was happening with my aunt, so then she goes to the hospital and she's hooked on tubes, and then she passes away in a hospital. She wouldn't have wanted that.
Yeah.
She would have rather have went in her home where she spent her days, and I know that. I know her, and I know how she was about stuff, and it's like so that was the one thing that initially went through my head was feeling like man, I should have recognized this. I should have done that. I should have asked her, hey, let's go here. You need to get checked at something. But but you look at it and you're like, no, everything happened the way it should have, because what I wanted wasn't what it should have.
Truly selfish.
Yeah.
You know,
not
with bad and selfish, not with the vile or
the intent was insidious.
Yeah, it's like you're coming from a good place and not even realizing that that's what it is.
Yeah,
so it's good. People die. No, it was funny.
Well, if people didn't die, there'd be too many
today.
of us.
I was literally telling people, there's a good say hi to everyone, because this might be the last time a lot of us see each other.
Yeah,
and not because people are getting old, not because of anything.
It's just hard to get everybody together.
When I'm like, it's already been over 6 years since we saw you. He's like, has it been that long? I'm like, yeah, it was before COVID. It's like, really? It's like, yeah, like you could easily be pushing 60. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Depending on who it is,
it's just like, I'm not to say like, oh man, it's a bad thing.
No.
I'm like, no, it's just how life is.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
Yeah, for sure. So you have to be aware of those things.
Yeah, and there were probably a couple that died from a disease.
Yeah.
Like we had 40, 50 people there. Could easily be a car wreck in there, anything. And those are just like the extremes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was
everyone could live to be perfectly and happy lives and still not get together like that again.
Yeah.
I
think at Granddaddy's funeral, I heard one of the guys that was about Daddy's age or whatever, and I'm not even sure who he was, but said something about that. About when you get to a certain age, it's like really the only time you see your friends is at a funeral.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he wasn't, he wasn't being
just,
morbid. He was just kind of
and not even hating on friends. That's just how it is.
Light of it, and it's like
it's just how
he's like, man, it's crazy. Like the perspective you get on life. At a certain point, you realize that you really only see all your friends at a funeral. Or something, somebody gets married,
marriage
at a certain
and
point,
babies
people
and
stop getting
funerals.
married.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah,
it's like, unless you actually take the time to maintain those friendships, then it's like, and it's nothing malicious. Like people just have,
like you
their
said,
own
that's
lives.
just the way it goes.
Shit going on.
Yeah,
and that's not a problem. I'm not even saying it's a problem.
No, no, it's just it's a fact.
The way it is.
The natural progression of things.
Yeah.
The third law of thermodynamics, as it were.
It's Thermo Man.
But should I get into some of this before we get out of here?
Get on there before we roll.
All right, yeah. So before we go, I've got some announcement.
Yeah.
And I thought about just saying, you know what, and not saying anything and just putting it out there when it happened and saying, I told you.
That's not the way to do it.
But it's not. It's not, because that's not what it's about. But I felt a moment of vindication. I don't know what you want to call it, because it's not that anybody didn't believe in me, but I was just super like, wow, I spoke that into existence. It happened.
Like you proved something to yourself.
Yes. And it wasn't exactly. And it was great. And what I proved is that last episode, if you tuned in, which I hope you did, and if you didn't, it's okay. Go watch it. Like it. Smash that like button. Smash it. But last episode I had mentioned, apparently I have an Instagram addiction. I just thought I was mentioning a hobby, but apparently my friend Jeff, who was here,
and
we all know Jeff.
Ashley.
And
Caleb's
Ashley.
Story about Ashley.
And
Caleb's
story.
Experience.
And everybody has stories about Mikey and Instagram, except for Matt, because you know why? Because he's not on Instagram. So,
but now that I heard it, I'm in on the.
And you'll catch up. You'll see
time.
that I've sent you weeks of reels that you haven't watched.
Dude, I'm not a person to send videos to.
It's okay, and I know that. But the reason at this point that I continuously send you videos is because I know how it's like. Almost like nails on a chalkboard or rubbing.
I don't even check my
petting a cat
Instagram.
against.
I don't get badges. I don't get nothing.
That's great.
No notifications.
No, that's great. I hope.
I'm just hearing about this.
No, have you not checked? When was the last time you checked your email? Because I've been
email.
I've been having you spam emailed for a while now.
Motherfucker,
I just assume I get spam email.
3,400.
Oh, I have you, dude. You need to check. You've probably got over 250. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, okay, because we're making shit up now.
No, we're not making anything up, Matt. There's nothing made up.
Okay, well, but getting back to what you're saying,
it's no point. It's not polite to point.
This is made up.
So what's made? All right. So last week I brought up the author, the man himself, Michael Sawan. Otherwise on Instagram known as Softmax Plus, the one and only, the friendly little clown boy who's just trying to sell books. And speaking of books, last week I told you I bought his books, right?
And here they
well,
are.
he has 4 of them,
In
and
the
there's
flesh.
2 of them. And I can only get these so close to this little camera.
Yeah, but
here.
he's actually holding them. We're not
But,
digitally
yeah,
imposing them.
It's
somehow.
okay. We're holding them. I'm holding them up.
He bought these books.
But it's When in Doubt, A Left Gets Mystery, and Pizza Powerhouse, Pizza Boy's Dream. It's about this one is about a pizza-themed gang that corrupts the lives of 3 teenagers, and this is part 1. This one is a depraved detective who solves mysteries with his dick while lusty hotties collide in paradise. So as of right now, I'm reading When in Doubt, The Left Gets Mystery, about the detective who solves mysteries with his dick. And I'm 6 chapters in, which I feel like is almost about the halfway mark of this book. And if I'm being honest, I knew if you go look at this dude on Instagram and you're checking him out, you're going to initially have a reaction, and you're going to kind of think, you know what you're in for if you bought a book from a guy that's
I think of him as a performance artist, or like a persona that he's embraced.
Okay, but yes, no doubt. But if you're buying a book from a man in a suit from perhaps it was his uncle's or from a thrift store,
yeah,
and he's wearing clown makeup, you're gonna expect that the book is gonna be, of course, zany, wacky, creative, slightly absurd, right?
Yeah.
And that's while all of that exists in this book. When in Doubt. But what also exists in this book that I was not ready for, and I'm also hats off to the guy, surprised, is the amount of like romance in this book that's not
It's
full
like
of shit.
literally
He's
2 different books in there. A genre, like
it's 2 different books, and also
and styles of writing. It sounds like it's literally like this part of the story is romantic, and it's the whole style of writing is to take on that theme. And this other one's absurdist detective, whatever, personal private investigator. It's going to be its own different style of writing.
And he is
within the same book.
Whenever you're reading in each chapter, it's like it alternates. So you're going from Lefkitz to Misty and Pony Island to Lefkitz and Misty and Pony Island.
One style book to completely another style book.
Yes, and so when you're dealing with Lefkitz, you can expect to.
Is it always on the left page?
Ooh. That's a good point. It might be. Lefkitz, I'll have to check that out. But Lefkitz is always like, anytime you're dealing with him, you know that you're going to run into some depraved, funny shit.
Yeah.
Whenever you're dealing with Misty, it's like, there's not really much of that. Every now and then, I've only think a few times he's added something in that was like, kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
A little edgy. But most of it, I'm like, dude, holy shit. And then, 2, aside from the fact that it's like he's actually capturing something that I feel like could be some little Netflix story.
Yeah.
Like, aside from that, the mystery aspect and the detective theme of this book from Lefkitz, like, this is some good detective noir shit.
Yeah. And
like,
I can only imagine where and how the stories intersect, and if the styles of
if
writing
they do, yes,
they have to.
I feel like they would.
Otherwise,
right?
it'd just be 2 different books.
I know, but isn't that with didn't Nietzsche do Twilight of the Idols? And Nietzsche had a book that was like 2 books in one. Essentially, I feel like they were different though.
Huh? I'm not sure.
It was like the Birth of the Antichrist and Twilight of the Idols. I think were both in one book.
Huh.
So I don't know if that's the case here, but either way, so far, but I'm actually really, really, really blown away by the range that he has, because he satisfied. He
surpassed expectations tremendously.
Well, and he satisfied all of what I was looking for. He satisfied all the humor, the comedy, the absurdity. All of that has been like what I expected and better.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I don't want to give too much away, but I've laughed my ass off at this.
That's good.
And so all of that to say that in the meantime of me reading these books and mentioning him.
You made a statement that something was going to happen.
And I made a statement that I will get him on the podcast, and he will be on here and join us. And
I think he just said before the end of the year, maybe?
I just said that I'm going to, mark my words, I'm going to get him on here.
You didn't even give us a timeline.
I didn't. I just said, mark my words, I'm going to have him on. And lo and behold, you know what's coming. Michael Sawan will be joining us
within
next
2 weeks
Sunday.
of May. It could have even been tonight.
He agreed to do it tonight. He was like,
Our
unless
schedules
this
didn't
Sunday,
work for
he
it.
said, unless this Sunday is too soon. And it's not that it was too soon. It's that it was too soon in the sense that I didn't have a chance to read these books
just
because I got them.
were better for.
I got them a day and a half late. And so it was like I wanted to be able to get through these books
Yeah.
and understand them and be able to ask because I told him I want to actually do you justice and give a real interview and be able to
ask
kind of see
meaningful questions. Addressing specific points.
And I have a decent amount of questions already lined up, and again, I all want them to be kind of centered around his inspirations for things such as that and things.
Yeah.
But either way, this is the announcement that Michael Sawan, otherwise known as Softmax Plus on Instagram, will be joining us. He's also on TikTok. He's got a website. I mentioned it before. We can ping it again in the description if Matt doesn't mind, things like that.
Gladly.
But he'll man, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm too, man. This is
he's
it's
actually
pretty nuts.
He's really looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, he seems quite engaged.
Yeah, and it was really cool. The fact that he's as responsive as he is, and he's also, it seems like he really wants to do it as well. So that was nice, man. And
his texts seem to have genuine enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Somehow, but I think that is what he's communicating.
No, and I mean, I'm glad that he saw the genuine interest and that he understood that it's like, hey, man, I'm really not trying to like. I understand that when you're
trying
doing
to do
stuff
his
like
thing,
that,
just like we're trying to do our thing.
Exactly, and it's just like I think it'd be so cool to be able to just kind of, be able to just interview the guy. That's it. I just think it'd be cool to talk to the guy and see what he's doing and just figure out, like we do with Billy. I think it's great when you talk to super creative people that are doing their own thing
Ask
and
him
being
about the
able
process. Ask him about what in their childhood. When did they eventually even want to start writing?
Did they know that these things were something they wanted to do? And also, what I'm really, I don't want to give. This is a question. I'm going to give it away. Maybe this is a teaser to keep you guys engaged. But one of my questions is going to be, how is it that he balances doing his social media and his online presence while also writing books and doing what it is that gives him his kind of notoriety and his bread and butter? Because I'm interested in that. I know he has help with recording, but it is interesting to me. Where is that balance? He's written about 4 books, and so it's like, where does that balance find itself? So that's going to be a question because I'm interested.
I'll have a couple too. So
awesome.
But yeah, man. Well, that's good. That's about as good as a time as any to bring us to our closing segi.
Yep. So, and that was my recommendation of the week. That was it. Pick you up a Michael Sawan book.
All right.
Right there. Again, we tagged him and mentioned him.
Synchronicity, serendipity, I don't know, whatever it is. Things printed freaking within our Metroplex.
Dude, again, yes, I'm glad you brought that up. I wanted to tell him about it on the show, but that's what's even crazier. I'm flipping through this book and I'm looking, and on the very back, the last page, on the back of the last page, it says Made in USA.
This guy's in Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio. And it says Made in USA, Coppell, Texas, 23rd of June, 2024.
Yeah, not even an hour away from where we live.
Dude, 15 minutes from my house.
From where
Coppell
we're
from,
at,
yeah.
like,
15
10,
minutes.
15.
Yeah.
Beltline in 635 is 15 minutes.
If you'd known that, you would have just gone there and picked it up.
Dude, I could have. I could have been like, maybe I'll tell him, homie, I'll go pick up books and drop them at Barnes & Noble for you. Got a delivery. He had dressed up like a clown and everything for you, guy.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
But no, man, I mean, dude, I can't wait. So all this to just say, this is our pre-hype for Michael Sawan. I mean, so many people are going to watch it. Eventually, so many people will see it.
I'm excited.
I'm really excited, man. So I'm going to, after I leave here tonight, I'm going to go home, keep reading, and keep adding notes of questions to ask this young man. I'm a little like over halfway, I think, through that book, and I'm going to start cracking on this one as soon as I'm done. So
I was saying, an approach to reading, which a lot of times people can see books however long and feel they're overwhelmed by it is like a feat or endeavor. But I don't know, just be like, I'm gonna read 30 pages a day.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read 50 pages a day, just to where like I'm not worried about getting through it. I'm just gonna do 25 pages a day, like 25 pages a day, 200-page book, 4 days.
Well, that's like that.
Or not 4 days, 8 days, but you do 50 pages, 4 days. It's like you can really read a lot more. It's just
before I let you borrow that Delta Force book, where it was like, I haven't read it in probably 12 years, 13 years, and so I wanted to refresh it too. And I read 3/4 of it, in about a day.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want to.
It's just like a binge watching a show.
75 pages.
Read.
Or,
No.
Yeah, hit a page.
It's
mark
literally,
and like,
or
dude,
even
just gonna read to that page.
Or even like 30 minutes. I'm just set a timer. 30 minutes. You know.
And he's not wrong, because one of the things I was almost just like setting as a goal for myself was like, the weekend was busy, and I wanted to do more reading than I did on the other book. But I was only able to. I didn't read it all on Saturday because I was getting ready for my boy's party. A boy of ours, shout out Nick
Crizzy.
Crane.
Oh yeah,
shout out to the boy Crane.
And
He
I
turned
gotta say,
33.
Shout out Brad Bell at my reunion today.
Yeah, Brad
my,
Bell.
My cousin's
Shout out,
husband.
Brad.
He said he checked out our podcast.
Much love, Brad.
Yeah,
Brad.
Here's one to you, brother. Thanks
I
for
don't
looking
have
at
one.
us, man.
I'm gonna go get one in a second, but I got you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, thanks for checking us out. And
yeah, I'm excited.
I was just gonna say, I kind of forgot.
Putting it down the road, and I know that's.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, and then another reason y'all should just go buy some of these books is they're all first edition. So if you are, if you end up, he turns out to be somebody you really like, you'll be glad that you had a first edition of their book. I mean, imagine having a first edition Hunter S. Thompson,
I'm thinking
stuff like
you could
that.
mail it to him and he'd sign it.
I'm and you know
could
what,
ask him that whenever he's on.
No, what I'm actually hoping for is I'd love to. So I saw again.
If he wants to move in with you,
if he wouldn't mind. If I can move in with him,
all the way clean.
Yeah. So because as far as I understand, clowns have trunks.
I think they generally do.
And clowns are wacky, right? So there's no way that trunk is a normal size trunk. It's got to be
probably like the Targus from Doctor Who, where you go in there, it's like a massive inside.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll mind. No, but what I was actually going to say is that like I'm hoping at some point our paths cross. And I'm either in Cincinnati or he's in Dallas, and I'm going to get him to sign this book.
How about we just say that they will?
Speaking into the universe, it's the
Other
secret,
hand.
bro.
I know. I'm just this arm was trying to block my arm, but we powered through.
Look at that. No, it's going to happen.
The arm of the machine.
No, it's going to happen. No, but he will sign. He's going to sign my books, and I'm just excited. Like I said, man. I mean, again, can't promote him enough. And even after he's on, I'm still going to keep doing it because, it's something I'm interested in. So
yeah, I love it, man. I love.
Man, thanks for always.
Your brain working. I love to
thanks.
see you. You're capable of a lot, buddy.
Thank you. And thanks for putting up with it and hearing me talk about it and hype it up.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. So thank you guys. We hope you all stay safe.
Yeah, let me give them my rec.
Oh.
What's this going to be easy? I already said it.
You did. I thought, okay.
Choose your problems.
Choose your problems.
You're always going to have them. And once you solve whatever big problems you have, they'll be replaced by things you feel equally as big. Just know that and just choose them and just know that you're always going to have problems.
And you've always got another one you can pick from. If you think that you've got a big problem, say, no. I think a bigger one's around the corner, and because bigger's always better.
There we go. Wait for the big problem.
So wait and pick that one.
Yeah. And then you have no problems.
That's like free crabs tomorrow at Joe's Crab Shack.
Exactly, man.
Bigger problems tomorrow.
Yeah, just like we came from the past to be with them right now, right here in this present.
This is big.
It's big.
Can you feel this? You feel that?
I feel like I'm about to vibrate through this table.
You feel this right now?
Yeah.
Dude.
I feel like I could just go through the wall, like my cells are just expanding into the universe.
And just into matter. Okay.
Yep. All right, well.
Yep.
Signing off, and who knows, maybe we'll be seeing you.
Be seeing you.